No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world, and this is the craziest podcast collab in history. This is probably the number one podcast that they never thought they would see.
No.
It's probably true.
We're here with our doppelgangers.
Is that what you think?
That's funny.
I'm curious how this pod is gonna go and what angle you want to do.
I feel like you guys are like an alternate universe version of us.
Yeah.
Probably.
I suppose.
Not in
With
every
the
way,
hats and
but in a
shit.
couple ways.
East
Yeah.
Coast version.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get the hair plugs and new teeth soon. So yeah, what looks?
Wait, I ain't got hair plugs. Hold up.
No, I'm Adam.
Oh, okay. Not
Yeah,
yet.
yeah, yeah. We're all testaments to the fact that a black guy could be friends with a white guy in this day and age.
If
which
nothing else, yeah.
Sometimes it's not so obvious that that's available to us.
Michael Jackson said it best.
Somehow we got here. What?
Doesn't matter if you're black or white.
Yeah, he's saying that.
He lied.
Yeah,
He lied.
it definitely matters. But what's you guys' actual friendship like? You guys, like, how much time do you spend together outside of the work relationship? Like, do you feel like actual friends, or how would you rate this?
Yeah, now we're actual friends. We spend a lot of time away from just recording and working now. For the early part of our like podcast career, it was just always like a professional thing because he was just running with a whole different crew of people that I wasn't just really running with. But we always seen each other moving around the industry and things like that. I always thought he was cool and just one of the guys that was like, you know, he was smart and was working hard. And
You guys got
hustling.
put together like a K-pop band.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
In a
Worked
way.
out, though.
So it's weird that a friendship
K-pop
would come
band
out of
would
that.
be how I would word it, but yeah.
Well, you know, it's like a boy band maybe.
Yeah.
How the fuck you become our friend?
That was different. We put ourselves together.
I think I kind of like banged on you.
Yeah, he kept trying to make me a crip or something at one point.
Oh, that's beautiful.
He was gonna get blessed then.
He's honorary.
Nah, the honorary doctorate. I don't
Yeah.
want. I
Now
don't want
you-
that kind.
Now you turn down your affiliation?
Nah.
You're
do you
the
think-
mastermind.
When you think No Jumper's gonna get a RICO charge?
I hope not.
Talk about it
I
every day.
feel it coming. and when I walked in here, I said, "Oh yeah, 2 weeks
2 weeks?
RICO charge."
I feel pretty good about not knowing about anybody's felonies that they're committing.
Josh gonna plea out?
It's not how a RICO works.
Yeah, I don't know if that's gonna help me though, because like you being on here is sort of like supporting and reinforcing whatever kind of mischievous
funding.
behavior you might have,
I ain't
and
the-
funding it. Yeah,
I ain't the only one.
right. Exactly. That's the problem.
You're the one funding it.
I hope none of you guys are doing anything bad.
There you go. That's how he cleared himself right there on air. I hope
Adam,
you guys are not doing
you,
anything bad.
you posted a video of someone getting their ass whooped. That's illegal.
Yeah, but he signed paperwork before we did that.
And he got a promotion after doing it.
No, he didn't.
That's a
Well, yours.
Very
You're talking
chaotic
about the
workplace.
assailant. I'm talking about the person who was
Yeah.
who was hurt.
I'm talking about the person that did it.
Yeah.
He got a promotion.
When that happened, I sat on it for like 2 weeks and tried to not say anything about it because I didn't want it to come out because we had to get the form signed and everything, and then we got to sign. I'm like, well, might as well make something out of this bad situation, even though obviously it's a little weird branding wise.
Was it weird branding wise for y'all though?
That's the
No.
question. How
it
off
seemed
brand
right
is
on
it?
par.
Yeah, I think it fit.
No, but that was our first assault besides the spitting incident.
Okay.
I'm about to say, nah, we got like 2 or 3 this year.
Oh, and somebody got beat up in the parking lot, but that didn't have anything to do with us.
In your
Oh
parking
my
lot?
God.
That was a
Not
couple
this
years
one.
ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do
No.
tell.
The last spot, somebody was coming to do an interview. One of his ops lurked in the parking
A
lot,
little blood. It was all right.
beat him up a little bit.
Okay,
Oh.
that's fine then.
Normal day, no jumper.
Yeah.
That's part
Alright.
of it. That's part of
I
it.
was kind of worried about a lawsuit on that one too.
He wouldn't tell.
Yeah, but just in the idea that we have, a parking lot that we're apparently not securing. This place is a lot different though. You see the security in here. We're holding it
Oh,
down.
no, I
Yeah,
thought
no,
I
it's
was
nice.
ready to get on the flight.
Huh?
I thought I was ready to get on the flight. The way the security was asking me to pat me down and check my bag. And,
Even Ben Baller had to put the strap in the trunk.
okay. I respect it. Secure the
Tell on Ben, huh?
No, he got the permit. He
Christ, what
good.
the
He's the only
bad,
person we
Ben.
know in LA with the concealed carry permit.
I think that's a known thing, though, that Ben has carries a weapon. Though.
Yeah,
As-
he
he's
doesn't
a
shy away
jeweler.
from mentioning it.
Yeah, you need it.
Have you gotten a lawsuit yet? Like even like behind the scenes that hasn't really came to fruition.
just for copyright, let's say.
Okay,
But not for anything that like occurred in real life.
I feel you.
Thank
We're
God.
doing okay.
Why
now,
did
though.
why did that kid sign that paperwork then? He could have easily walked away with some real bread.
He's in the streets.
No, he's not.
Well, he's on some
He
streets.
could get out the streets
He's on a
if he
street.
didn't sign that.
I mean, Adam is giving them interviews. You know what I mean? A lot
Oh,
more
yeah,
people
we fuck with him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
That
Friend of
crowd is
mine.
more than the money, man.
He's coming to my wedding.
He coming to the wedding? Oh, but it's crazy.
You get
No,
married?
it's a good look.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Adam, how old are
No.
you?
Huh?
How old are you?
39. Gina thinks she's on this podcast.
You 39?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, you thought
What would
he
you have
was?
guessed?
I seem younger or older.
Seem a little older. Maybe like 43.
I was thinking earlier how I have no idea how old you guys are.
Really? How old
Well,
do you think I am?
Let's do the guess game.
38.
Okay.
And same. No, younger. Never mind.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Am I aging that poorly? Fucking 32 years old.
I don't know any white
Damn.
people, so
I'm a year older than you.
90s,
different to
baby.
me.
31?
33.
Oh, 33.
This is starting out just as awkward as I thought it would.
Why?
This is like
There's a vibe in the air.
it's
feel
like
like
when the
this is a double-
Flintstones met the
What's
It's
Jetsons.
like a double date.
Okay, you see,
A speed date.
we're
Yeah.
definitely not doppelgangers. I would never say that.
You
to
would never say anything that insinuated
felt
anything
like-
gay ever. Yeah.
And
We know. Well, I'm 41,
Oh, okay.
so we know each other's ages now.
this is definitely the situation where I told Maul, like, yo, nah, she got a friend. Come with.
Come with. Yeah, come with.
Okay. Okay.
And he's just sitting here like, all right, man,
what
what,
would
am I
be
doing
a
here?
better one-on-one podcast? You two or us two? Or
You and Rory,
or
and
vice
Me
versa?
and AD.
To what? Fight to the death?
No, to a podcast.
Oh yeah, that'd be dope.
This is the
80
most
said
sus
fight to the
icebreaker I've ever.
I do think a podcast that ends in a fight is a good idea, though.
I mean, I gotta hold it down for us, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you'd beat everybody up here?
I mean, I don't put nothing past anybody, but
You're a big nigga.
Yeah. That's the main thing he's got going for him.
damn,
His size.
Really.
80, I don't want to fight you. I'm just gonna make that very clear.
Well, not now.
Can you fight, Adam?
Nah.
Have you tried before? Like tried and failed?
Yeah.
When was your last fight?
Sporadically.
he's a big
Bars,
nigga too.
I know he got
bars,
reach.
high school, that kind of thing. Nothing too of note.
I think if he really wanted to, he could beat the shit out of somebody.
I mean, he definitely has reach. I don't know what his stance would be like.
I don't really
If,
feel
if you were to stand up right now, if someone's about to like square up with you, can I
Right.
see like what stance you would have?
Ooh, please, this is
we
great.
could do that later.
This is great.
I just want to
He
know
gonna be
like how.
I don't
put him up.
I don't really like feel the need to prove myself in that way. Like at this point in my life, it would
you're
take
38.
a
You
lot for
shouldn't
me
be
to
fighting at
attack
38.
someone.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna be fighting at 38 if it calls for it.
No,
if
you're
it calls
not.
for it, it's different.
When's the last
But
time you're gonna
seeking
fight?
fights at 38 is crazy.
Nobody want to fight. Well, that's China Mac. That was it.
China Mac want to fight you?
That was my
They
guy.
fought.
Oh, y'all fought?
That's my guy.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
You got
I
to
do
fight your
remember
guys.
that. I do remember that.
Most of my closest friends, we didn't.
That's
know,
how it should
share
be.
blows. It should be like that.
You guys ever get down like that?
Fight?
Come on, I fight no.
I mean, we're no for it.
What's the
Who will
what's
win?
the worst it's got?
The worst it's got.
Yeah, like the most hectic arguments. Does it even get like that? You both seem so mellow. It's kind of hard to imagine
Yeah,
it getting there.
I'm the most laid back, like whatever, man. Because I'm scared of my own anger.
But we both know we wouldn't take it there in that regard. We've definitely had arguments that are loud, but it wasn't. We both knew it was never going to go across that line because we would not do that
Yeah,
with each other.
violence is like the peak of it being a totally illogical situation because it's like any,
Is it illogical though? It's probably the number one problem solver at the end of the day.
But
though.
I can't imagine
Number
you guys.
one.
What would be the issue
a problem
between you
is
that would
happening,
be fixed
violence
by
would solve
violence,
it.
right? Like, what would be the issue between you guys that would be fixed through violence? That would be better after you fought,
Oh, we wouldn't violate each other in that regard for it to get there. But
right?
yeah, it would be one of those that you went way too far, and the only way to go here would be violence. That's all.
Yeah, shake hands and go right back.
Yeah.
Pardon.
That's
It's all
all.
good.
But you think that that would like help reduce the tension if you wrestle
Depending
around
on
in the
what it
backyard
is.
for a little while?
Bro, it's just
Depending on what it is.
It's a. I mean, you do it right. It's a bonding experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To me, it's like there's things we can talk through, and then there's things that are like permanent violations where I just never want to fuck with you again.
I agree.
True.
I'm the same way.
And I don't really see how a fight is going to change one to the other.
Okay, well, for instance, you can have somebody that you look at like family. You feel me? They do something fucked up. He running his mouth. Pow, 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 pow. Y'all squabble up, shake hands, and you keep it pushing. You still got your friend.
I've definitely lost fights to my friends and felt like we solved it. I didn't harbor anything, even if I lost.
Yeah, when I was younger, for sure.
Yeah, but
I just
Adam-
don't really feel like I could do, like, it just wouldn't really make
Like
sense.
if you
to me
took
at
off
this
on me
point.
one day, I'm gonna take off back and back, and I'll be right here tomorrow.
Yeah, but that from the perspective of an employer, of a person who's running a business, this just seems like very foreign to me. The idea that we could just duke it out, it'd be all right.
At no
It
jumper,
wouldn't.
I feel like it's very granted.
It's the theme.
Yeah, we have a new podcast coming out where we actually interview someone and then we fight.
That'll be fire.
New
Fire.
new
I like
variation
that. I
we've been
like the
working
idea
on.
of
Fight Club podcast.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's what everybody really wants, right?
Lawsuit waiting to happen.
No.
See, I like being the interviewees because we don't have to carry this conversation. I am still waiting to see where you guys want to go with this.
I mean, I have all
I
these
have
questions
questions
written
too,
down.
but you know, I'm just trying to see
How about
the
this?
vibe. This is
He shoot a question, you shoot a question.
no. Shoot about 5 questions. I want to see where this goes.
You want to hear like questions that I have written down?
Or just where you wanted to go with the
I
interview.
should just like dig deep into the list and go to the end, like the uncomfortable
start with-
potential stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Start
Nothing's
right
gonna
there.
make us uncomfortable.
So
per se.
Megan Tory.
Okay, let's talk about it.
That's just like a reminder of like
Did Charleston White speak on Gunna yet? I'm waiting for that.
I would assume.
I think he did.
A lot of
waiting.
wild shit has happened today online that I haven't
Yes.
had a chance to see
I'm
yet.
waiting for Charleston. I just think Charleston White is the funniest dude in the world.
You know who's my go-to is Mo, the lawyer for workers.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to his page every day in between interviews to just see if he's got a new update about.
I'll be on
the
Twitter,
trial.
just put the latest to swoop, swoop.
That's
See
the,
what's going
that's the
on.
wrong place. Them niggas be on there talking about all kind of dumb shit.
Yeah, there's a lot of porn too.
I'm trying to get real news.
Yeah.
You
You
know?
want the facts.
Yeah, but I'm also because he's been a little bit questioning of Meg's story and her, you know, how convincing she's been on the stand.
You think Meg is lying?
Okay, in the lead up to this, I very much believed her. And now I feel like it seems a lot more muddied. Like it just seems like it seems like Kelsi's either lying or taking money from someone. Or it just seems like something is fucking weird.
Listen, it's as simple as this. She got shot. A gun was fired.
Right.
We know whose gun it was. Who do you think shot Meg?
No. I'm with you. But
Like,
it's
fuck
just
all the other shit.
The more muddy it gets, the more I believe Meg.
the thing that I'm doubting now is
honest.
not. The thing I'm doubting is not
Yeah, Kelsi
if
took that
he
bribe
did
money.
it. It's if he will be convicted, because it just seems like there's all this weird fucking
Yeah,
shit.
their whole
going on in
defense is
there.
rocky now.
They're-
Think so?
Not. It's beyond a reasonable doubt, and I think the
Beyond
strategy
reasonable doubt.
is.
Well,
I'm
you have
saying
to prove
they have to
beyond
prove
That's what
it
they have to
beyond a
prove,
reasonable
yeah.
doubt, and I think and this, I don't know, but I think she took that money because clearly she remembered everything until it was time to really talk. Then she pled the fifth. Now it's reasonable doubt. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have
So I
any
think
idea
she
what
took
could be
that
going
bread.
through the head of those jurors, but yeah, the Kelsi shit has just been beyond
She
weird.
better not never live in L.A. because they gonna get her for something else. She gonna get a jaywalking ticket. Life.
Who, Kelsi?
Oh, they gonna mad. They gonna mad.
Why?
Yeah,
Just because she lied to him?
the city of L.A. is mad at her right now for sure.
I just want to see when she files her taxes and they run through everything and see that wire. Wait, where'd you get $1 million?
Yeah, how does that look?
You know how it
It
looks.
can't be a wire. It's got to be a duffel bag.
Cash?
I like how we all think that Tory is capable of this.
I think Tory thinks he's capable of it and doesn't realize that you have to file taxes afterwards with all your wires.
I don't think he sent a Zelle.
I think he cash app in
Selling
different
a million.
sums.
I know.
Tory's done a few crypto
and he had
promos.
He sent
He probably
$5,000
sent it on
for
FTX.
dinner.
Got the Zelle. Tory Lanez right there.
That's why she feels so conflicted, because Tory sent it on FTX, and now she doesn't have access to the funds anymore.
Sent it in Canadian dollars.
That
She
explains
has to go
her
to currency
emotions
exchange
on,
at the
when
airport.
she's up there. Yeah.
It's getting
Wow.
interesting, though.
Damn.
Let's get
No,
into
he actually paid her in NFTs. He
Ain't
sent her
worth
2 apes and a punk.
You still got yours?
Yeah. But this
Would you
isn't about
interview
me.
Kelsi?
I would love to. Yeah, sure. I would love to know what her promotional strategy is after this.
I mean, she got her bread. She chilling now.
Yeah, but what podcast does she go on first?
No jumper.
Drink Champs?
Crime Stoppers with Gunna?
Damn.
You think it's over for Gunna?
No, I don't think so at all. We had a long debate about that today.
For
I
the
don't-
pod? Or in the Uber?
Oh no, I was joking that Gunna would start a Crime Stoppers podcast with T.I., but
Mm.
I think that would sell.
Kids,
What do I know?
Kids don't care though.
Of course not.
Nah.
And he has a lot of female fans that definitely don't give a fuck.
Okay, but the
think
6ix9ine
it's-
thing is proof that a lot of people care.
Drastically different situations.
Very different situation, but
I don't know if Gunna is gonna be able to. It's just he just comes from too many real street dudes behind him, and I don't think it's I don't know. That don't look good.
it's going to be the reaction from everybody he fucked with before that's going to basically determine what the main consensus is from the people, I think. Because you're already seeing, like, the people who are on the very far gangster end of the spectrum, like the whack 100s and stuff, who are basically not trying to hear shit about the snitching thing. It's just like, if you've talked to the cops in any way, you're guilty. I mean, they're just not going to be convinced
Well, he
otherwise.
said yes, ma'am. To is YSL a gang?
YSL
know.
must end as a gang. That's when it hurt my heart.
Yeah, it's like after that, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I'm fighting. I'm saying that we're not, and I'm standing on that we're not. And then you go and say yes, ma'am. Now they're looking at me.
People have a theory though right now that this was all planned because even when we was doing the news today,
What was planned?
Like, they were like, oh, Thug may be free today. People calling me. I'm like, hey, they about to let him out.
I had
like,
multiple people hit me
said,
today saying
huh?
Thug was getting free today, and I was like,
Yeah, they
based
didn't.
on what?
The judge denied it. Well, they was basically saying like they illegally fucking got a lot of evidence and they asked for it to be thrown out and shit. But
I don't think
people were
that's going to
saying that shit
result
today.
in them just letting him go. Before
we were talking today and just
anything.
we don't know shit. All speculation, obviously. My possible theory that could make Gunna look better in this situation is all of their lawyers came to the agreement that we knew Gunna. There's nothing that's really going to stick. He was a pawn, just a name, and someone that we could keep there to give them a plea agreement to say, hey, this is a gang. So once we start the trial with Thug, we have this bit of information that says YSL's a gang, knock that out right away. You're not going to have anything stick with Gunna. There's probably too much evidence that you couldn't even fight that YSL is a gang. So let's get Gunna out of jail. He didn't do nothing. Nothing's going to stick with him. He can go out and make money and can continue to fund whatever family shit, lawyer shit, anything else. We was never even going to, I don't even think, I think the evidence they have against Thug is too much to even fight that it would be not a gang. So
It's too much, Rory.
So we're not going to go as our defense, this is not a gang. So let's just have Gunna say that shit, get him out, and move forward.
I mean, but Thug's best defense is
It's not a game.
it's not a gang.
I think a lot of people feel like Thug doesn't really have much of a defense at this point, that it's like, it's just not going to be good.
Or they choose their words carefully. And again, I don't know shit. I'm stupid. I've never been to court. YSL the gang, not YSL the LLC. Could be different. Maybe he chose his words very carefully that Thug's lawyers and Gunna's lawyers were like, say it this way. Because we're going to go in with a strategy saying, Thug sent money from this LLC. Yeah, that gang shit, cool. They sold weed, whatever. But this like murder for hire shit and all that is not YSL. I'm just trying to think of shit. I watch a lot of Law and Order. What the fuck do I know?
I mean, it's the opposite of the 6ix9ine situation in the sense that 6ix9ine, when he snitched, it confirmed everything that everybody already assumed about him.
From day one.
When I say everybody, I'm talking about, hip hop veterans, older people, et cetera. Obviously, a lot of kids were heartbroken to find out that Treyway was not what they thought it was. But then this is a different situation because you have Gunna, who's somebody who's like generally well liked by pretty much everybody within hip hop. Seems like the kind of guy that has very few enemies. Everybody likes him. And of
Street
course,
affiliated.
everybody loves Thug. Everybody, obviously the Crime Stoppers thing was a blip there for a while, but, nobody is like eager, besides maybe a few commentators online. Very few people are like eager to put Gunna in that category. Now, I always like try to keep some distance from it because it just doesn't, it's not my lifestyle. It's not my fucking business. If he snitches or he doesn't snitch, it just doesn't really affect me that much. But
It is your business to some degree, though.
yeah, I mean,
like literally.
but I think that
You don't really stay away from
my
crime
interest in
related.
it is right or wrong and being a good person or not adhering to this like street code that, I never chose to live by. So
Bullshit.
what?
Your business is around
Elaborate.
that, like,
But I didn't join a gang. I don't fucking care if he snitched.
your
It's not
business
really
is
like
around
my business.
It is, though.
but I don't have to, like, Vlad interviews mafia dudes who snitch all the time.
That's
But
true.
Gilly and Wallow won't do it.
Oh no, I'm not saying snitch shit. I'm just saying as far as
Street shit.
Street shit is 100%.
Yeah, we
And
talk about
monetized
that.
there, yeah.
But I'm talking about the snitching thing specifically. It's like,
get
it's
it.
not my place to pass judgment. Like there's a lot of people online who are really from the streets and really will say, this guy's a snitch. This is how he should be treated in his neighborhood, whatever. That's not my business.
Listen, I'm a tax-paying citizen, civilian. It's not my business in that regard either. But I think you are connected to it more than, say, I would be, because the business is, you interview street dudes
Right.
and street rappers.
And I
It
could-
does become a
I'm
thing.
conscious of how they're viewed publicly or like how the opinion of them might be changing, but I don't like put it upon myself to go out there and declare people snitches or anything like that. I don't like doing the paperwork, exposing interviews. People sometimes pull up with paperwork and surprise me, but it's not really.
that's
I was about to say, you
That's
can
a
have
little
some
too much.
paperwork.
Not really my
for-
thing.
For sure.
They pulled up here with paperwork before.
For sure.
A couple of people have. Usually it's not about anything like super serious, but they'll pull out something to just sort of be like,
For people that you interviewed or employees.
just whoever they're beefing with at the time. They'll be like,
Oh, I
oh,
was
this
saying,
this dude was talking to the cops 10 years ago,
Like, you
whatever.
employing a snitch.
They're not working here.
That's why I asked, like, who was the paperwork on?
In the case that we're talking about, I have random YouTubers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, well then let me ask this. Because of AD, would you hire somebody that has snitched? It would benefit your company. Let's say they would bring in a lot of revenue, but they snitch. And you're not a street dude. It doesn't bother you any type of way, but the people around you it affects.
Let me say this before you say that. I don't care if he did. I won't do a show with him. This is a bigger network. It's business. I'd like, if it doesn't affect me personally, then it's like, hey, you do your thing. I ain't fucking with you. I ain't, you know, whatever. Hey, keep it pushing. But I wouldn't give a fuck.
Having brought him on and T-Rel and Sharp and various other people who, you know, are generally well-liked by people, it now kind of stands out to me that, like, holy shit, if I had got this guy instead of AD, this could have all gone in a very different direction because your brand really gets viewed by, like, the culmination of all the people involved with it. So, you know, even if myself, I'm not really, like, super gung-ho on, like, judging people for snitching or not, I mean, you have to take into account how they're viewed by the community. And if somebody's status is totally in disrepute, then I guess probably not going to be a very good fit.
We ain't doing the show.
If nobody else wants to be around him, then, you know, everybody has to be able to get along to a certain extent.
Shout out to T-Rel. I saw a clip. He had some good things to say about me.
Really?
Yeah, I think somebody had sent me some shit, I think.
Fuck with you.
Yeah. I never met him, though.
Huge asshole.
Is he?
Great guy.
Good guy, though.
Yeah. Huge asshole, great guy. I like that.
Yeah. I like it when people compliment me.
Oh, my God.
Doesn't matter who they are. As long as they say nice things about me,
Let me
That's
ask
a very
care less.
that's a Mal Trump moment right there. Yeah. Hey, if
Let
they
me-
say good things about me, I don't give a fuck.
Let me ask y'all this, because Adam has this thing. If we, you know, we saying too much good things about each other, he's like, oh, you guys are dick riding each other. He hates it. We can be like, hey, bro, good job. You did this over there. Oh, man, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Good team spirit. He hates that shit.
Listen, if you guys want to suck each other off
See?
privately, that's fine. My thing is that when it's on camera on the podcast and you guys feel like it's necessary for you to spend 10 minutes out of every podcast just arbitrarily congratulating
Josh.
each
He
other,
over there shaking his
it's
head.
just like this is not a podcast.
You
Like
doing
this
a
is
group
just
chat
you
too.
guys hyping each other
Yes.
up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And Adam's
You
right.
do it
'cause
in a group chat,
podcasts
too.
go to the internet, and the internet does not care if you like love your friends.
Right.
You
Actually,
either
they want you to hate
disagree
your friends and
or
snitch
yell
on
at
your
each other.
friends.
Do something. We're not here for you guys to compliment.
You choose
one
to make
another.
it a conversation about the specific dick riding thing, but my thing is like, you have to think about what the people at home are gonna want to hear. And every week, if you're just like, you're doing a good job, it's just like, okay, this you got to switch it up. You can't just like repeat stuff over and over every week. That's like the
bringing
main
good-
thing.
I like bringing good energy in here.
The internet doesn't like that though.
You don't think it's good. You think it's good, but
internet
it's not
hates
as
good
good as
energy.
you think it is.
So should we be negative?
Nah. I mean,
But that
Not-
is
no,
better.
not-
That's
alright.
better.
if it's necessary.
That is better.
Not-
Because
not
I would
Being
rate. I
negative
would.
unnecessarily is corny.
Okay.
Not actually negative.
I would way
Entertainingly
rather hear
negative.
Mal do 15 minutes on you guys' show where it's like, listen, Rory, there's this thing you've been doing that pisses me off. Now, within the bounds of your friendship, obviously, I don't want to, like, you know, if it's the most serious thing in the world, like, hey, the way you talked to me the other day, that pissed me off so fucking bad, I want to punch you. Like, some stuff is obviously way too serious. But in general, I think that picking each other apart a little bit is probably better than just mindlessly complimenting each other.
I agree with the engagement.
So tell us
for
all
the
the things you
content?
hate about the people you work with.
Them the homies. I'll fight them if I get mad.
He said them the homies.
Part of podcasting is you have to use words. You can't just
But
fight.
I generally like everybody here, though. I try to give them advice, or if they need me, I like to be there for them. I'm just one of them type of people.
I feel you.
Well, let me ask you this. What is your process by which you guys kind of like work on the podcast? Like, do you do a pre-production meeting every time? And if there are things that you kind of have in your head that maybe like didn't go well during an episode or that you want to talk to each other about it, how do you go about doing that?
I mean, there's a skeleton in pre-production as far as like things will hit, but so much of it is organic and actual friendship that I don't want to structure it, and he doesn't want to structure it too much in that regard, because I think the best moments come outside of, hey, look, we have to talk about this. It's more of the random shit that happens after you talk about the structure. Oh, this happened this week. This happened last week type shit.
I agree.
Like
Yeah.
you fall into conversations from like points that you want to hit, and then you'll just end up falling into a whole different conversation that inspires something else to talk about. And I think it's more organic. Like we don't want to feel produced, and I really don't like talking about half of this shit, but I have to. You know what I mean? Like I don't care about who's fucking who or who did what to. I don't care about that shit.
Right. Because I feel like as a podcaster, one of the big challenges is to be able to take something very specific and then have like somewhat of a general conversation about it.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what's weird about the Tory and Meg thing is that it kind of is like just like a very specific situation that really is all about the nuts and bolts of exactly what happened. But, I always use the example of like the Jay-Z getting kicked in the elevator situation because, I mean, that was like early podcast days, but like every podcast I knew of basically was just running off that for, a couple weeks. Mm-hmm. Chris Rock and Will Smith, it's just like instantaneously every podcast snaps into action to talk about it. And it's kind of like the battle now is like who can have, on average, the more interesting takes and is able to like really have a real conversation about shit. There's so much like
I think
fluffy
we
shit.
view that shit drastically different because we know our strengths are not that because we don't care. Like, we'll talk about the Tory and Meg shit. Truthfully, I think it's horrible that a woman was injured. I don't personally care about the back and forth gossipy part of that entire thing. So I know him and I, just because of the people we are not going to have the number one take on that. So it's not where we're just going to focus our entire pod on. Because, even down to No Jumper, we know y'all will have the better salacious takes on that, and what people are looking for may come from other platforms. That's not what our listeners are looking for. Yeah, we'll touch on it and talk about it a little bit, but that's not what our focus ever will be, because we won't do that better than y'all because we don't care.
Yeah, like caring is definitely important because when you hear people on a podcast talking about a topic and you can tell that they just have like a very surface level understanding of it, that can just be like the ultimate moment where you just want to turn it off. If you hear people on a podcast start talking about an issue and you know more about it than them,
Yeah,
you're out.
100%.
Start a podcast.
If you read like one article and you know more than all the people on the podcast, you're just like, all right, this is.
I think that's how every podcast is birthed, though. You listen to a podcast and you feel like you have more information and more knowledge on something, and you're like, all right, fuck it, I'm going to buy a mic tomorrow.
Right.
Start my own shit.
That's how I started.
It's a new rappers, man.
I was watching Joe Rogan and Combat Jack and Joe Budden, and then I was like, damn, these dudes don't even know any SoundCloud rappers. I'm gonna get in there.
Okay, that's how you started.
Pretty much, or just like I know a lot of interesting people in general that aren't doing podcasts because it was 2015, so just sort of grab the opportunity.
Was it called podcast back then?
Yeah. Although people were much more confused about the concept. And I remember getting a ton of comments in the early days of like, you are insane if you think I'm going to watch an hour and a half long YouTube video.
Now look at
It
you.
was like a very constant comment.
Now it's long form only.
Yeah, right?
Sure.
Now it's like, damn, imagine if we sat down and do 45 minutes. We already did 45 minutes.
We get murdered for it.
30, yeah.
All right, what else is on this question sheet?
Okay. I want to continue on the Tory Meg thing. You took one of the most prevalent stances early on, and I actually I was kind of holding my tongue, and when you said all that shit, I was like, damn, Mal said the shit that I was thinking, and I kind of feel bad about it. Like, what is it that's like keeping me from stating my opinion on the podcast as freely as he did? But then, as the case started to seem a little bit more confusing, it kind of felt like you, wheeled it back a little bit at one point. Like, what are your thoughts on that? And did you learn anything from taking that stance early on?
He made the album.
I think we did.
He
too.
did too.
Yeah.
My stance is still the same. Like I said from day one, if he is guilty of that, he's the biggest clown that our culture has ever seen. I mean, think about when it happened. Same time around the Breonna Taylor case, and everybody is marching and protesting for justice for a black woman being killed in her home by police. And then after a night out, two of our stars in our culture, one of them is shot and alleging that this guy shot her. It's like, how can you be that careless? How can you be that, just have a lapse in judgment, especially around that time where everybody in the culture is focused on one thing, Black Lives Matter and, justice for Breonna Taylor. And then you have all this opportunity at your hands. You have, the quarantine radio. He was on his way to a crazy bag. And then for whatever reason, alcohol, egos, whatever was in that pot that night, as a man, you have to control the situation better than that.
I just can't see somebody being that big and just saying dance, bitch, and shooting 5 shots. That shit sounds weird as fuck.
Kelsi
to
denied
even
that
say
that was ever said today.
That shit weird to me.
Kelsi said, they said, did someone say dance bitch? She said, where the hell did that, she said, where did that come from?
Yeah, but
So
Kelsi,
she denied that, and that was like a key part of this whole
Kelsi
narrative the whole time.
But Kelsi's recollection of what happened is all over the place.
This is very true. Yes.
So I don't know.
It's a paid recollection. It's a little different.
It's a paid recollection. So my stance is still the same. Like if he did that, if he is guilty of that, that's clown shit. And but it's a bigger problem though, Adam. Like we don't, as homies, as boys, as friends, I don't have a problem with Tory. In fact, anybody that knows me know I'm a huge Tory fan. Like I put a lot of people on to his early Chicks tapes and all of that shit. Like I thought he was super talented. But in that moment, that situation, you got to call it what it is. If my brother did that, my nephew did that, my best friend did that, yo, you a clown. How does that happen on your watch? That's your gun that was fired and a woman is shot. You have to control that situation better than that. That should never happen on your watch.
Ain't it the security's gun?
No, I think it was Tory's gun. I think he already said it was his gun.
I mean, it's just kind of a question is like, these things come out, these sort of cases. And it would be fair, I guess, for people to just say, like every media commentator to say, I'm going to wait till it goes to trial in 2.5 years, and I'm going to hold my opinion until then, and I'm not going to make any statement about the information that we've seen publicly. Obviously, that is not how it works. Everybody is chomping at the bit to get their takes out there as fast as possible. And, it's hard for us to resist that as podcasters to try to take the limited information that we have and just go with it, even though in this situation, I mean, probably the information that we knew in the first couple of weeks was enough for us to draw pretty accurate.
It's also this simple. It's career suicide if Megan is lying.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So at that point, if she says that's what happened, we've never seen this before. I'm not going to think, I don't know any woman that has ever said a dude shot her and he didn't shoot her in life.
Do you remember how much time people spent talking about, it wasn't really bullet fragments in her foot? And then today it was proven 100% it was bullet fragments.
They also said there was none of the gunpowder and shit ever found on
And they
Tory.
found it on both.
And that was a whole day in the news cycle where that was like a huge
6
headline.
months people talking about that
Right,
shit.
but like
It was a long
all
time.
these things were like seeded out perfectly throughout the thing to just raise doubt.
Yeah. And I guess even the publications that was coming from, again, I wasn't super invested, but I was like, oh, damn, that's crazy that Tory was not found with any gunpowder on him. So I started believing, like, maybe he didn't do this shit.
That's where the theories came from.
And then with the
stuff like
first
that.
day, mad gunpowder. That's why I hate the internet, because even my ass was believing that shit.
And when people would
Stay off
ask me
Twitter.
about it on podcasts, and I would say like after it had been a few months, I just started to say like, listen, I don't fucking know. I'm gonna wait for the trial. Like I really, I don't want to like make any bold predictions. And people are just looking at me like I'm a total sellout for not having an opinion. And it's like, bro, I don't want to like sit here and just guess.
Is this the craziest shit that's ever happened in hip hop?
Absolutely.
Gotta be up there.
It has to be number one, right?
Absolutely.
I was thinking it reminds me a lot of the O.J. Simpson shit. And if he beats it, it's going to be exactly like the O.J. shit because nobody's going to fucking believe that he's innocent.
And you know what's funny? We were talking on the podcast today. This is tied to O.J. Simpson.
I know.
How fucking crazy is that?
Kardashians.
Like, look at that. This happened from a direct descendant from the O.J. trial.
So you know what that means. That Hulu show coming.
Listen.
Oh, they're already working on documentaries. That's a fucking shame. There were 3 6ix9ine documentaries in like 2 years.
No, I'm talking about the true crime, the O.J.
Yeah.
Simpson one. How they
The
did
People
that.
versus
they're
O.J.
doing
Simpson.
that.
That was one of
Yeah,
my favorite
that
series.
was-
I was getting
great.
ready for the Tory Lanez documentary.
There's gonna
Maybe he can
listen,
play
they're gonna-
himself.
You don't think in like 20 years they're gonna have a TV show showing this shit?
Not in
Law and
20
Order is
years. It's
already
going to be in
shooting
like
shit.
6 months.
Yeah.
You said 1 year? Oh, I'm in.
I mean, that's
Law
what I'm
and
saying
Order
though with
shooting this
6ix9ine. There was 3 6ix9ine documentaries in like 2 years after that fucking situation. Like they just do this and
No,
instantaneously.
But I'm
now.
talking like an actor is playing Tory, an actor is playing Megan.
They'll probably keep revisiting it over and
Yeah.
over throughout the years.
Who would play Tory?
Poetic Flacco.
They don't know who that is, right? I don't know. But yeah,
We haven't checked into Kylie's alibi, huh? Where was
Is
she at?
But they're saying that she might testify.
She's not going to testify.
Because what does she know? She wasn't there. She was in the
I
house, right?
guess the state of everyone when they left would be the only thing that she could do.
Yeah, but for me, if like,
I know Corey's testifying.
was Meg drunk? I don't really care. It doesn't seem that important.
Corey's testifying?
That's what they said, right?
That's been discussed, but I have no idea if that's like a real thing or not.
If you think about it, all right, there's 4 people there. 1 was shot. 3 are saying they didn't shoot her. It's got to be Kylie or Corey, right? Would
Maybe
have
it
to
was
be the
Maggie
shooter.
Simpson. Remember that? Remember the
Y'all know
cliffhanger?
y'all know exactly who fired that gun, man. Cut it out. We're not doing that.
Man, listen.
Now, from the day one, he'll tell you, I always thought that he shot the gun but didn't intend to hit her.
5 shots?
I thought he shot at the ground, and then a bullet ricocheted and hit her. I don't think he ever really pointed it directly at her. I think he was trying to scare her, And she basically confirmed that. Like, she didn't want to move. She didn't want to run once she started firing the gun because she was scared she was going to get hit somewhere where it could be fatal. And I told Rory from day one when we first heard about it, so I was like, Tory don't strike me as the type of dude that would, it's clown shit either way to pull a strap out on a female in any manner. Let's get that clear. But he didn't strike me as the type of dude that would actually raise the gun and aim it at her. I always felt like he was trying to scare her and just firing around the ground like, and a bullet ricocheted and hit her foot. I always from day one felt like that.
It was a 38, right?
I mean, it's 5 shots.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's believable. Because if he had shot at her head, I would think that's a little different. That's like a little bit more surprising, even though obviously both are horrendous.
The dance bitch for me is just the one.
Still playing in your head.
But even that, you can't make that up. Like, how do you freestyle that?
But sometimes that's the best detail in a story.
That sounds like something that's made up. And I'm not saying she lied. I just said like,
it does sound made up.
When I saw that, I was like,
it's like, yo, you can't make that up. It sounds made up, but it's like, who can just be like, yo, he said dance bitch.
Like, what she's saying is she heard dance bitch, she turned her head after the shots, and she sees him holding the gun. This sounds like a real villain to me. I don't know.
I feel bad for womankind from however the fuck this goes, because it just seems like, you know, from this to the
It's
Amber Heard
surprising
thing.
how many women are feeling like Megan's lying. That's surprising to me.
There's
Which
a
is
lot of
deeper thing.
misinformation.
because
out
women
there.
always stick together, so it's crazy.
Because I think of the social media, how it was. People, oh, no gunshot residue. Oh, it ain't this. Oh, it's not this. You bring that doubt out, and then the people are like, no, we don't know. And then you got Meg going on Gail saying that she wasn't intimate with him. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of little things in there.
All right, let me be that guy that defends all women. I think it's okay that she lied about that on Gail. I don't think it discredits her the way everyone else thinks that discredits Meg. Why the fuck do I need to tell Gail who I'm fucking? We here to talk about a criminal case. I don't need to tell you about my pussy.
I mean, but if what you're saying is you're trying to paint this guy as this crazy shooter, and you're saying this stuff, like, you should be like, you know
AD,
what?
you must know plenty of women that have given up the pussy to some crazy shooters.
Oh, yeah. My thing is...
So does that matter?
No.
It doesn't matter how you paint
Not
it.
at all.
If they fucked or not. It didn't make them a shooter.
The thing is that how much could it really benefit her in the trial for them to believe that, like, for her to be viewed as potentially lying about saying she didn't sleep with him versus just, like, I don't know, maintaining the idea that she didn't sleep with him, like as if he's more likely to be found guilty if they think that she was drunk or not guilty if they think that she was drunk and they were sleeping together.
I feel like they're trying to see she's a liar. And they're painting this picture that she's making up all this shit. So
discredit people.
Yeah,
It's just weird because we got to remember from the day one, she didn't want to speak about it. She had a whole. She said she stepped on glass. She was trying to protect them and hide what actually happened. And she only jumped on Instagram Live. And anytime a woman jumps on Instagram Live with no lashes, you know she's telling the truth. Like,
that was the first time we saw her like that, huh?
Yeah, this is not for, like, you know, performance. This is like, I'm seeing all of these narratives that are being pushed, and they're trying to turn me into this wild, belligerent, drunk girl. And now I'm going to tell y'all exactly what happened. And then I read energy. And then you look at Tory's live, Cottonmouth, and he never said he didn't do it. He always says, why would I do that? Why would I shoot her? Why would I do that? Like, it doesn't make sense. Why would I do that?
And I've definitely
I
woke
can't
up in
never
the morning
remember him
drunk
saying, I did not
saying,
shoot
why
her.
did I do that?
He didn't shoot nobody.
No, of course not.
I was just reading through my DMs when he called me a bitch-ass N-word.
For what?
What sparked it?
Just reporting on the trial, or not even the trial, but reporting on the allegations at first. Just informed me that I'm not sure what I said at all or what we
Oh,
posted.
yeah,
Listen.
fuck me on the album. I mean, it's the same shit.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, say what you will about Tory and everyone reporting, PR companies need to study Tory Lanez. If you
I'm
think about
assuming
that,
he has one.
This is
the fact
amazing.
that fuck the facts. When it came out, that first headline, the fact that Tory has spun this narrative, whether intentional or not, where we're all like kind of like doubting that could have even happened, even though Meg has a fucking bullet in her foot, is crazy. PR companies need to look at Tory Lanez and hire him if he beats this shit.
But I feel like he probably has the greatest PR company in the world behind him. Because I've gotten some fucking random emails of just like links that make him look good, of like things they clearly want us to post. That I'm just like, oh, okay, he's got a little team out there that's like planting these little breadcrumbs of.
But I'm not even going about that type of shit because he did get dropped from damn near everything the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about moments like bringing the baby out on stage or going on his set. Like it's certain things and moments that Tory put together behind the scenes that had everyone on the internet going, all right, wait, the baby is bringing Tory out. It's a lot of artists still fucking with Tory. Like, this is weird. Do they know something we don't know? Like, he created the doubt just by moving around.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crazy PR shit that he was doing.
If he's found guilty, do we persecute Drake for that line?
It's a good question.
They're saying that he didn't say that.
Well, Yachty said that Drake didn't mean it like that. Right? It's pretty obvious that it was like a double entendre.
Thanks,
it was meant to mean
Thanks,
two
Yachty.
things at once.
Thanks, Lil Yachty.
Rap genius.
That's the Drake PR team right there. Yachty had to come out and clean that one up for him. We need to clean up in aisle 5.
So they say because they put the S on there. It wasn't a shot. It was shot. So it's butt
I
shots.
said this, yeah. But she also had like multiple bullet fragments in her foot though.
Drake
And
will
it was
get
5
persecuted
shots.
for a day.
That's crazy.
If that happens.
You can say that
most.
too.
Yeah, it was 5
But
shots, right?
that was a day on Twitter where the mean girls were definitely out and about trying to convince you to stop fucking with Drake on that day.
But
No,
you know
I
what
wouldn't say that. They were saying this. She's lying more.
No,
Drake knows.
the feminist Twitter world was on Drake's ass that day.
Oh,
Now,
yeah,
how much
yeah.
does that really fucking matter? Probably not that much, but
I mean, to somebody like Drake, it doesn't matter. But
Right.
the interesting thing was, up until that point, I don't think we've ever seen Drake take a definitive stance on anything.
he very neutral politically.
Very neutral.
That's why it was so odd, though,
Yeah.
to really go all the way with that, of all things.
Tory even said that he sent Drake verses or sent Drake open verses and never heard it back, which really that surprising when you think about Drake's image. He doesn't really want to
But they
associate
beefed
himself.
at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
But they've been on good terms
Even
for
Drake's
a few years.
stance on racism was like, yo, I was not into it in Canada. We weren't racist. He went fully on the side of Tory
And see,
Lanez.
if you think about it,
Like,
if Drake is sitting there jumping out and you see these cases coming up, you might that brings more doubt. Like, okay, Drake ain't about to just do some
He
shit
not
like
ruining his
this.
brand over this.
No, he's not about to ruin his brand. And then you hear that, then this is like, oh, there goes some more doubt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is why the women of the internet thought it was fucked up for him to do that. Because like now you're only raising more doubt.
I'm not going to say it was fucked up, but I'm going to say that I never seen Drake do some shit like that.
Never.
That's just like a very different type of move for him.
Brought a lot of hype to the album, though.
That is true. All right, guys, just a quick word here. This podcast is brought to you by Coned, these amazing little edible waffle cones that we just found out about. Each one is filled with THC chocolate. I'm not sure if you've heard of the manufacturer Baked Bags, but it's the leading edible brand in the country. And they create exotic, tasty treats that are federally legal and ship right to your door. They have 6 flavors, including birthday cake, strawberry shortcake, cookies and cream, and they offer them in 2 strengths, 25 milligrams and 100 milligrams per cone. Ditch the generic gummies and chocolate bars and try one of the best edibles that we've ever seen. They taste amazing, and they'll have you feeling at ease. Why leave the house when you can have them shipped right to your door? Get your first order 50% off with the code NOJUMPER, one word, or go to bakedbags.com/discount/NOJUMPER. That's 50% off of your first order. Get yours now with the link in bio. Thank you very much. Okay, I wanted to ask you guys this, since we're really like dating this podcast by talking about Megan Tory for a half hour, because it's going to be so obvious at what moment in time this occurred.
That was the appetizer.
But okay, this is what I wanted to know is, you guys have been independent now for what, a year and a half? 2 years? Like, doing your own show.
Oh, yeah. A little over a year.
Okay. How does it feel? How is it different than how you thought it would be? And what is the mentality after going at it for a year? You guys seem very, very determined to make this work.
I know exactly how much money was stolen from me.
Shit.
Yeah, because I could see everything.
Right.
And it's but creatively, it's just the energy is a lot different. The way we go about doing things, how we want to look, the things that we're trying to do. It's just an easier transition, an easier way of doing things, because it's not between us, it's not a ego thing. You know what I mean? It's very like Rory has an idea, he wants to do something. Yo, tell me what you think. Think about it. Okay, same way. Yo, we should do this.
Down to today. In this interview.
Yeah. Real talk.
No, for real. Yo,
like,
you want to do this? If you don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. Type shit.
So it's like it's just a different it's just a healthier way of creating, and I think that's a big part of creating content and podcasting and doing the things that we're doing. It's just the energy around it. What is this for? Why are we doing this? Is this really what we want to do? So for the past year and a half, it's just been an easy flow of things for us to do, create, turn down, accept, and just just from a business standpoint, it's just healthy. It's like people we like to say that you have to do snake shit in this business. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. That's a thing that we let people run with is you got to do fucked up things in business to get ahead, and everybody can't be pleased, everybody can't be happy. That's not true. You know what I mean? And I think Rory and myself, we learned that like early on, like, bro, we know what this is, we know what we want to do, we know what we're not doing. So let's just have fun with it, because the business is gonna be the business, and our business is very simple with each other. You know what I mean? It's 50-50. That's it. You know what I mean? Whether, I see it or I don't, I trust him. He trusts me. He knows I'm not in this for, just money shit. As I've always said, I don't care about money. It's all about, the relationship, the friendship, the energy, the intent, things like that. Like, where's your morals at? I'm thinking things that men should be built on is what I was taught. And money is going to come if you just move right. You have good intent. You have a good heart, good energy. Somebody's going to remember that and always put you in a position like, I like this dude right here. You know what I mean? Like, even if it's not, I'm not getting nothing from it, I'm going to put you in position because I think, this is your strong suit right here. I think you'll be good for this. You know what I mean? Like, just things like that. We put too much emphasis on money, money, money. And I get it. We all from, areas in life where we didn't have. Or we had to do things that cost us our freedom, or, we had to keep our head on the swivel to try to feed our families. But once you work yourself to a space where that's not the case anymore, don't bring bullshit into it. Leave that out, because we no longer in that space. And I think that for the past year and a half of us doing our own thing, it's been a testament to just how we're built as men. You know what I mean? Like, just do right by people, do good business by people, have fun, respect each other. And it's been a blessing, man. It's been, pretty much one of the best years of my life on a personal level, because it's like just the energy, and it's a lot of stresses that were around us for a few years where it was like it just wasn't comfortable. You know what I mean? And this past year and a half has been a lot of comfort.
Yeah, I watched some YouTube videos breaking down you guys' body language on a few podcasts that were quite informative.
Okay,
I learned a lot.
that's interesting.
I was like, look at the way they're sitting.
Yeah. But it's
like shit that I never would have known, and the diehard fans are just picking up on it, zooming in on
they'll
Rory's
always-
face, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad that YouTube exists, because I would not have known about this otherwise.
I've seen a few of those as well, and I think they're funny. And I
Sometimes exaggerated?
of course. I mean,
Yeah.
But
the internet.
But if fans aren't making up theories or doing deep dives like that, do you matter? So
Real shit.
as much as I used to look at that shit like and get angry, like, yo, what the fuck? Like, this is a complete spun narrative. This is not true. And then I also don't want to get out there and get on IG or another podcast and be like, yo, this is fucking false. This, that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
This means that they like what we're doing at the end of the day. It's just a warped way of saying, hey, we love this. That's really what those conspiracy Reddit, YouTube, etc. are.
But does it
Even
feel,
down to Lipstick Alley?
does it feel like a challenge trying to build a podcast that I feel like you guys are trying to build a podcast off of just friends having good conversation and try to like avoid all the temptations of shit that you could do in terms of making it a constant battle to get big guests, or trying to talk about the most dramatic, crazy clickbait shit? Like, is that a very specific thing that you guys want to build something with a foundation of just you guys talking?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't want to build a foundation off of something that is may come and go. If our relationship is solid from the foundation, we can build on that. You know what I mean? And we don't like to sit with a lot of guests that we don't have some type of personal relationship, because it's like I could sit here and talk to somebody I don't know and ask them all the questions that every other outlet has asked them. But when we've actually hung out and kicked it on a real level and had real conversations off camera, and you know how I am, the type of dude I am, the conversation on camera is gonna be different.
Real life. That's real shit.
So it's like I fuck with a lot. Like, damn, I would like to talk to you, but it's like I don't really know you and I don't want to interview you. I'm not Barbara Walters. Like, I'm not going to sit here and interview you and grill you like, so when you said this line, how did that?
Or Gail King.
Yeah, like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah, because people ask me, like, how do I become a rap interviewer? And I'm just, like, thinking in my head, like, I don't know, man. Because there's a lot of fucking people doing this. Like, I'm not sure what your angle is going to be that's going to be way different. Unless you can find a pocket of artists that people aren't really talking to, which I think that's probably the best bet.
Yeah, or, just be a heavy music guy. Know the artist that you're talking to. Know his music, know his or her story.
The more specialized your knowledge is.
Yeah.
Well, and I think your approach, the less journalistic way, has been the best part of your interviews. It's way more of a conversation than, we love Rap Radar because they are actual journalists. And when we want to watch the journalistic interview, we go to them. But with you, it feels like actual combo to some degree. Nori's the one where he's, for the most part, very familiar and has a long history with the guest and can get them to open up a way they never would. I think the guest-based podcasts all have different niches, which I think is cool. But with our breakup and that whole show, the live show shit we've been doing, has proven to me that guest shit is just not the best route all the time. Because obviously things end no matter what you want to do. But if you have a core fan base that is there to see you and they're not there for the guest, you'll be fine forever. Because no matter what, Maul and I could set up some microphones and just talk.
Right.
That can be proven.
They actually hate
they're
when
not
we have guests.
they're not coming here
They hate
just
what?
because
They
we
hate
want to
when
have
we
guests.
Oh, yeah. We deal with
Our
that,
audience,
too.
They
Yeah.
hate when we have guests, and it's like,
There's a few guests that they'll appreciate, but largely they hate them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh.
yeah,
100%.
but, it's an interesting, just the way people like, oh yeah, nah, don't sit down with this person. This was whack. I'm like, damn, I thought y'all would have enjoyed that.
Yeah.
We just want to hear y'all.
But if the thumbnail said Rory and Mal interview Steven Seagal, I think people would, at least they know what they're going in on. But if they click on their
That's
weekly
just funny, 'cause
episode,
I would click on that, like
right,
Steven Seagal,
or just anybody.
Fuck
But
has
like,
he been up
but
to?
if they click on it and they want to
Making
see you
terrible
guys
movies?
talking, and then all of a sudden it's like, so Steven Seagal, your ponytail, it's so
Yeah.
long and luxurious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We see the random homies we got do way better on the channel than, you know what I mean? You bring a rapper that, I think he dope, I like his music, and he come here and be dry as
But
fuck.
see, yeah, because the random
know what I
person
mean?
has a better conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it is. It's just the better conversation. So, getting the guests is cool. It's gonna, clicks and numbers and the thing. But it's like, I don't want to talk to dudes I really don't have some type of, at least a little bit of a relationship with.
And you almost live and die off the moment crowd. Like, you have to keep up with they're there for the moment. Because, like, we interviewed JD and had Bow Wow just randomly FaceTime in and say, yo, I got $1 million cash on me right now, I'm coming. Like, that's a hilarious moment. But we would have to continue to chase that moment if our platform was based off trying to have those moments.
Yeah.
So I think it's, for us at least, way less stressful to just do what we want to do and make sure our fan base fucks with us. And when we want to have guests, cool. If we don't, we're fine.
Yeah, because like getting interviews is awesome, but I mean, you guys were the ones who really made me want to start the weekly podcast shit, because I was like, it sucks having a business where I have to like get new interviews all the fucking time, and if I don't for a week or two, and let's be real, like there are just huge parts of time where there like aren't that many new interesting rappers coming out, or like, you interview these dudes and like they maybe take a while to pop off and the interview ends up doing okay over time, but just being able to have a conversation with your friends on camera that's pretty much why I started doing it, because I just saw what you guys were building.
And when you did that, I felt like you made the whole office like the show. Like the characters within the office, people you bringing in, like it became the environment rather than Adam sitting with a rapper.
Because that can only go so far. And especially when your focus is interviewing like all the new cool rappers, because no matter what, there's going to be new cool interviewers. And especially when you're talking about younger artists, there's so many fucking little, like young YouTubers trying to do their thing, that it's like your brand, like I don't think that's necessarily the best thing to base the entirety of your brand on, because it's just not enough there.
What do you think some of the biggest mistakes you've made in building the No Jumper brand?
Ooh.
Probably fucking with him.
The best.
Mistakes? Shit, I don't know.
Because this turned into us complimenting each other, and I want to get back to the bullshit.
Yeah, y'all dick riding.
But I wish,
in his words.
I wish that like,
I am interested. Like, that's a serious question though. Because
I wish I had been a little bit
mistakes
more,
doing shit.
because we didn't start really bringing on like hosts that like could do their own separate episodes until him, and that's when that ball started rolling. Like basically at the beginning of COVID. But when I think about it, we were at that store on Melrose for like a couple years before that, and if I had like been a little bit more open minded to putting people on camera, I think we could have done a lot more with the people who are around early on. So I feel like I really everything that I regret is just shit that I wish I was earlier on. Like I wish I started making YouTube videos in 2006 because I did. Me and some of the fucking dudes that live near in Brooklyn. Like, I just remember making videos, going to the skate park and just fucking making fun of each other's bikes and shit. And when I look at it now, it's like, that was just a vlog of us hanging out. And if I had just kept doing that and putting it on YouTube, it would have been crazy. Like, just because I was so ahead of the curve. But I did one episode, and I remember that it was this kid, Day Day, that I used to be riding with all the time. And a couple people told him, like, nah, you was acting too goofy in that video. That shit was kind of clownish. So he didn't want to do it after that. And I didn't really care. I was like, oh, yeah, all right, I don't care. It's no big deal. But when I look back at that, I'm like, bro, if I had kept going with that, I could have been like a huge YouTuber, like way before the game really got started, you know?
Everything happened the way it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, No Jumper now is like a network now. Yeah, I mean, you don't come here just to watch pods and shit. We tried, I had a movie review show, he canceled it, but you know what I mean? We came back with the cooking show and then that worked, so, you know. And they want to build more shows and have different type of stuff. So you come here, you know, it's like you got a mixing pot. It's real gumbo over here.
What about business mistakes as far as being the leader of an entire team?
I don't know. Because it's like, I mean, you know, I don't know. Because like really like a lot of the things that have worked for us is just like figuring out how to like actually put our stuff on Facebook, figuring out how to get Snapchat shows, shit like that. It's really just like taking it off YouTube, even doing the clips channel like over the course of the last year, or like building up our Instagram. There's like so many parts of the business that I could have never imagined coming in a million years. Like when I started the Instagram and I just literally used to just post a picture of every person we interviewed. And like, then at some point, somehow we just like kept changing it. And then now that's like a significant part of the business. I mean, I don't know. I regret like the time period where I thought that YouTube ad money was just the only thing, because that was just like, it's easy to get hung up on just judging yourself based on your analytics and just thinking like, oh, this is like how I'm doing. When in reality, it's like you don't see your brand deals in your analytics. You don't see your live shows or your merch or like all the other things. So you have to like really be judging yourself on like a lot of different things. And those are like existing revenue streams, because it's like really as a business owner, like what the fuck are you doing if you're not also like figuring out new shit, you know?
And obviously analytics are the most important thing on earth, data, all that shit, but the intangibles and the feeling of stuff is I think what separates a good businessman and one that can just follow trends,
right?
More or less.
Because you guys are super serious about the live shows, which are, I mean, you describe it. Is it like a very significant part of the revenue that you guys bring in, or is it?
No, it's not actually.
Right, because
actually
we travel.
Not at all. But it goes back to the point that we're not guest based, and we know that our fan base really fucks with us, so we can do those type of venues and not have to worry about like, yo, we in this city, like who we gonna interview, who we gonna do that? Like it's feeding the soil.
It's more intimate,
more or less. Like it's a way. It's also a way to say thank you. Like you get to really meet your fans. Meet and greets are amazing to really talk to the people that listen to you twice a day because they feel like they know you for real. So it's creating those type of significant moments for fans is what will have them come back forever. Like I know this is gonna be somebody that will fuck with me for 10 years. They'll buy merch. They'll continue to listen. They'll follow me on a new venture. If Maul wants to do something over here, we know we have this fan base to go to what Maul wants to do, what I want to do. It's just really building an actual community.
And a lot of podcasts, they can't do a live show in London with almost 1,000 people and not be guest based.
That's really good.
That's
yeah.
fire.
With just two people talking.
And not guest based, like that just doesn't happen in this space. Like you have to be a heavily guest based podcast to be able to put 1,000 people in a room.
Did you do a whole little Euro tour or just London?
No, we just did London.
Okay.
Yeah, we just did London.
Next year, I think we definitely want to do
a whole
a European tour.
Shout out to y'all too, man. Having our homie DoKnow in the brown bag opening up for y'all.
I saw that. That was
Yeah,
cool.
that's
Because
dope.
I haven't really
Great.
seen podcasts open for other podcasts
Nah,
before.
that was fire.
Well, we wanted to. I mean, podcasting, of course, has become like the new mixtape, more or less. Like everyone's doing it, but
Right.
we love the podcast community so much. Like, why would we not try to put other people on and give them opportunities? You know, because we was like the first people through the door for the most part in the space where we didn't get opportunities. So yeah,
Set a screen.
if we
The
out
next
here,
person.
come open up for us and get a taste of what doing live podcasts is like. Because on the road, we've seen certain opening podcasts that hated it and other ones was like, yo, this might be our shit now. Like we could do it this way.
So you've just like gone out of your way to find different opening podcasts in different cities. Like, do you just consistently try to do that?
Every single show.
Every show.
Oh,
we
every
put up,
show, wow.
Put up a
That's
flyer,
fire.
and then they flood the comments. They tweet us,
Each city
DMs.
lets us know which local podcast is their favorite.
Yeah.
And whoever,
I mean, you might sell a couple hundred tickets off of just that other podcast.
That too.
You know?
And it's been cool because it's still, there's the majors, more or less. This being one of them, us being one of them. There's still a niche podcast community, so I think it's cool to let them get the same look on our show. That's
Definitely.
a cool thing.
Yeah, and like, okay, so what's your lifestyle like when you're on the road? Because we just did like New York and Boston, so we're on the road for like 5-6 days, and it occurs to me that it would have been a lot different if I was 18 on these podcast tours, or even like 25 or 30.
It's been fun.
It was fun, but we're not exactly party animals. I got a very good night's sleep every single
Oh
night.
God, lucky you. With this crew I got,
I'm listening to you guys talking about
This
getting
crew
kicked out of clubs. And
Okay, no.
It sounded like a frat party on
us two,
tour.
We're not the ones. It's these fucking animals over here.
Wow.
yeah,
They all seem to not.
I met Maul at the club.
yeah, I met AD, but that was.
But he was in the corner though.
Yeah, I was chilling. I walked
That highlight
in, and I was
room.
walking in, so I wasn't doing nothing crazy. It was literally I walked in. He like, yo, what's up, AD, man? I said, yeah, I know y'all. I said, what's going on, man?
Right. I
it
remember
was
him telling that. We were hyped.
Hey, and he said, "See if you can get an interview." So I go hit him right now. We dick right.
But see, but that's the thing. Like after seeing him a few times
All right.
and us kicking it, it's like it's a personal thing here. Like, okay, I like this dude. Like he not just trying to get an interview. He not trying to just get some views and shit. It's like, nah, like yo, we fuck with y'all. Like we just want to sit down and kick. It's like, all right, cool.
That's what I hate about never going out in public. Is I used to just go to like clubs and shows and just meet people constantly, and then just be interviewing. Like I would go to one concert and have like 5 interviews lined up over the course of like the next couple weeks, just for people I met backstage of the concert. And now I'm so fucking busy and just lazy and such a dad that I just don't go to shows or don't do the networking shit.
He don't never want to go out.
I mean, you at that age though.
Yeah,
39.
You shouldn't want to.
yeah.
I
I'm
don't
the same
want
way. I don't like, and I hate going out. I hate it.
If you have a 2-year-old jumping on your face at 6 in the morning,
Oh yeah,
it
That's
makes
what's up.
staying out in the club till 2 or 3 seem like way less appealing.
Yeah.
Has that changed how you want to put content out? Like, do you think about your child sometimes now when it's like,
Like right now.
should I put this out and have my name attached to something that my kid is gonna see?
Oh, no, I don't care about that.
Say,
But I'm talking about
He
the
don't
fact
give a
that I
fuck.
literally just missed bedtime by about 15 minutes. But, I got to be okay with that
Yeah.
at a certain point. But no, I don't think about it like that. Honestly, it's like, to me, it's like there's grown-up shit and there's kid shit. And it's like a lot of times people will try to be like, they'll use like the kid vantage point to tell you that something that you're doing as an adult is wrong. But it's like, no, I'm an adult.
That's not the question I'm asking.
Okay.
Because I know you've been asked that question a lot.
Right.
I'm
Talking about
saying
the content.
I'm just saying more so like how you view your business structure and how you want to put shit out and the type of people you bring around you. Has that changed since you become a father?
I'm just like more business minded and more like just focused at this point. So like, yeah, like, okay, the number one thing is like, I don't know if I could really tolerate having anybody in my life who's like really on drugs like that at this point. It's just like I need responsible people around me. When I was like first getting into this game, I didn't give a fuck if somebody was a lean head, perk head, whatever. I was doing all this shit too, so it didn't really stand out to me that much. What?
Josh called bullshit.
I was gonna let him finish. I don't want to interrupt him, but
You're saying I can't bring perk heads around?
Josh look in the corner like, nigga, please.
But
didn't
what?
that kid that
What are you
fake
questioning?
pick that got beat up? Wasn't he talking about ketamine and shit?
No, kratom.
Kratom.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
I found out
And that
afterwards.
It's
terrifies
legal.
me.
You can order it online.
Some type of drink.
It's like a tea type thing, some herbal shit that, I mean, he said he didn't feel it when he got punched in the face because he was drinking kratom, which I'm not sure that that's how it's supposed to work, but a lot of people use it to get off opiates. But you can just buy it. You can buy it at the store or at the
Gotcha.
mall or online or whatever.
So back to your child.
I mean, I don't know. What were we talking about with her?
Just your overall point of view with
Yeah.
no jumper since the kid came out.
It's just more important for me to spend time with her now. So it's like I used to just hustle 7 days a week. Now it's like, oh, I got to take Saturday and Sunday to be a dad and try to shut my fucking brain off and not look at my phone for a while and just focus on this. So that's been fucking weird to have to actually like segment. I wonder how all those people worked for me for all those years when I was working every Saturday and Sunday. I don't
It
really
was probably
remember.
high.
Yeah. Like everybody,
Josh is like, mm-mm.
everybody used to be
herbal
coming
tea
in
going
every day on the
crazy.
Yeah, they was
weekend,
on
right?
that kratom.
Kratom.
That was a lot to ask. It didn't seem like
It was
much
a
of
lot to ask.
It didn't seem like anything to me at the time because I didn't really like understand the idea of like taking time off. Because because I was just in a hurry to get where I was going.
AD, do you think Adam is a culture vulture?
No. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't hire gangsters and pimps and shit like that if you was a culture vulture. You know, he helped change.
Sound like a record label to me.
I mean,
The industry does that every day.
no, but like on some real shit though, like we give him a lot of slack. A lot of people may see shit like that, but he genuinely cares because you know he'll see the potential in somebody. And I say this shit all the time. Like our own people may see a nigga and be like, "Oh, you're affiliated with streets. You affiliated with this. You might be a liability. We don't even want to give you a chance." Versus you got this guy like, okay, you do this, you do that. Oh, I think you're great on camera. Let's try you out. The people end up liking it, and then them same people come around like, oh, damn, you great. You should be woo. Like, nah, y'all didn't see that. He's seen that, and you know he could go. He's white. He can go pick up a lot of white niggas right now, make these TikTokers and YouTubers, and if he really wanted to, the fact that he's giving people from the streets and you know people opportunities, that's dope. I don't see nobody else doing no shit.
To be
like
fair,
that.
you're probably like some of the only people that would really fuck with me. So I don't think Bryce Hall's gonna start a podcast with me.
And don't
sell yourself short. It might
happen as well.
Yeah,
Like, we get that mixed up and think that because you black, you can't be a culture vulture. You can be a
for sure.
culture vulture and be black.
But I mean, this guy is only like give to us. He ain't take. You know what I mean? Like
The whole thing with the culture vulture thing is that it's like, for that to make sense, it has to be like a person who's completely outside the culture coming in. Right now, I definitely have had like a very different version of being part of the culture, but at the same time, like rap has been like the primary music I was listening to since I was in elementary school, and that's always been the thing that I've been fascinated by. So for me, I'm kind of new to the idea that I'm like a total outsider, and that, you know, and now granted, I grew up in the suburbs and I am white, so I'm very aware of that. But at the end of the day, like I don't really view myself as that different from him, even though I'm from New Hampshire and he's from Compton. Like I get the differences, but I don't really like look at him or any of the people on the team on camera or whatever who could be from the fucking craziest backgrounds. It's like I don't know.
and even the business model is like, you know, you can be up and coming. It don't matter where you come from. Most likely, No Jumper is gonna give you your interview first. And you know what I mean? So that's dope. Like a lot of people may not take like the J Moneys and who's another artist that you just did?
Is that Lambo Foe on from
like
Watts?
you may not even heard of certain people, and they come here first. And it's like on the West Coast, there ain't no real place that you can go and get an interview from somebody this big and on a platform this big. People from the streets, all helps.
We got T-Rail interviewing a different jerkin artist every week.
Nah, T-Rail's interviews is fire.
Yo,
But I'm saying, like,
no,
we're-
they need their flowers, bro. They was TikTok before TikTok was TikTok.
We dig in
Jerk
on a
dancing
lot
go
of
crazy.
shit hip hop wise that like just a lot of people wouldn't do because it's not the most viral shit. That's the weird thing about it, is that you get judged so harshly on some stuff that you do, and then you get absolutely no acknowledgement of everything else that you do. You know, like that. Even though I'll be having that conversation with people about interviews, and they'll be like, your interviews are like all about drama and gossip and beef, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I do like the most intimate interviews that most of these fucking artists are ever gonna do, where we're like really just talking about them as people. And I feel like you've not really seen many of my interviews if you think that that's actually my angle.
Yeah, even
I
when,
hit that shit by the end of it usually, but
even when people say that shit, I be like, you just read the taglines.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? He may ask a question or two where I'll be like, you know, but for the most part, like, he ain't trying to get nobody incriminated. He ain't trying to make nobody look bad. And if you hit the nigga up, you feel me? Like, hey, I don't like how this shit's going. If he fuck with you, he'll be like, oh, I'll change it out or do whatever you got to do. He cool with that shit.
Our first tweet exchange was based off me thinking that. If you
What was
remember
it?
that far back.
What
I
was
had
it?
tweeted something about it because I was introduced to the platform. This was years ago. I was introduced to the platform
Adam
like
a culture vulture?
I didn't call him a culture vulture. I was just talking about
One vulture to another?
yeah, 100%. I admit I'm a card carrying member.
I don't even remember this. This is sick.
I had said something about the platform because I was introduced to it when you were like doing vlogs in like the projects, and it reminded me so much of when they throw the nerdy white kid
On Vice.
in Chicago in Vice, and it's just like, tell me about the gangs, and that's what it looked like. This was a long time ago.
This is when I was there?
This was before you had a podcast.
I feel like
anything.
Stupid Young was like the main. Well, that wasn't even the
I
project.
thought you was talking about then when we went to Watts.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you, this was 6 years. It was a really long time ago. But then I did retract it later on when we were on the old pod. And I was like, all right, my bad, because I see the platform is different. It's not the Vice shit. But you could still.
I don't even know if I saw
You could have
that.
culture vulture tendencies and not be a culture vulture. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we see people do it all the
You
time.
can exploit things to some degree.
Yeah, because there are a lot of hood vloggers and stuff who definitely don't have any of the insecurities that I had about doing content in the hood, you know, like in the sense that like, I remember we did that one when we went to the Long Beach and did a vlog with Stupid Young and the Asian boys. And it's like,
that must have been the one.
but then like after that,
the Asian gang.
we didn't really like dig in on it. But I've seen people who they do one video like that and that is their thing. They're traveling around the down south, going to every project, doing videos. And I mean, at the end of the day, I gotta respect it that they're just making money and doing their thing. And probably a lot of those people are super fucking happy to be on camera. And I've had people tell me that they're like rappers tell me, oh, the first time I got any kind of clout or coverage was from being in a hood vlog. I'm like, that's fucking incredible because I never thought that people were finding about music from that shit.
But I feel like for Stupid Young, that did great shit for his career right after that. This shit, you know what I'm saying, showed a different type of, you know, when you think of gangs in Long Beach, you probably think of black gangs. No, I went over here to some Asians and see how they got going on and turn this stuff up too. But like even when we went to Watts, people are like, oh, you guys watching people chop up crack and do this and do that. I was like, bro, this shit was fake. I was there. So you can't say that, you know what I'm saying? Like, for one, I ain't chopping up nothing around this nigga or being around that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? But two, like, nah, like, I don't see no interviewers that are going to the trenches, going to the hard to go places and stuff and just, you know, walk around freely and shit. Like, it don't happen like that.
But that was a situation where my experience of going there was basically 100% like, oh, this is a dope place. All these people get along. It's good vibes. Like, I know that there's violence attached to the people here, but I'm not seeing any of it. Everything was just cool. But then they wanted to film a fucking skit for the vlog where they fucking pretended to cook crack. And we were like, all right. And then we ended up fucking blurring it out. And then that actually kind of made it worse because then people actually thought it was crack because if you had actually seen it, you probably would have been able to tell it was not crack.
But I guess in that instance, intent only matters to you. That's the intent is valued to the person that is going there. The outcome you have no control over. So that's where I've looked at the culture vulture thing with myself included, where I know my intent on stuff, but if it comes across differently to the community in which I've been accepted to somewhat degree too, it doesn't matter my intent. What is my outcome? What am I actually doing? Because I could come in with the best intentions ever. How does it look to everybody else? Because I'm not the deciding factor because of my intent.
But I remember before we put that vlog out, knowing that we were going to get that exact reaction and just being like, whatever.
But then again, too, this is artists over there.
Some would
like,
say
come
that
on.
would be the culture vulture part of it because you said, I don't care.
Because I knew that we didn't actually do anything wrong because they weren't actually cooking drugs and this was a skit that they wanted to film. But I knew that a lot of people were going to perceive it another way. But since I knew it wasn't that, it's like, well, I don't really give a shit if people are going to view this way since I know what it actually was.
And if people are welcoming you, like, hey, come to our neighborhood, see how we live, see the talent here.
Yeah.
Like nobody else is, I mean, like you said, they're doing hood vlogs now, but the hood vlogs is really just glamorizing the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, y'all got musical talent over here. Okay, cool. You see the kids over there? That's dope. And that make them like, okay, we got people coming to our neighborhood doing shit like that, man. That give people hope. But another thing too, Adam be having like white on white beef. I don't know why. So
White on white beef. How do you feel about Vlad?
I like Vlad. Legend. He pretty much invented the space in many ways.
Don't give the white man that much credit.
I mean, he was ahead of the curve on damn near everything in terms of like what YouTube content was going to look like. And he was the first person through the wall and he took all the shit for it. And now everybody else does all the same shit that he used to do, myself included. So,
Well, again, I don't think Vlad gets shit because of the business model that he created. It's his intent.
yeah, I mean,
And the outcome
there's a
of it.
feel.
Because his intent comes off, I've never met the gentleman. It comes across that he does not give a fuck. He's there for the view, just the view. Fuck what happens with the culture. And the outcome tends to be that way as well. So his intent is bad. And the outcome is bad as far as certain situations. I'm not saying got anyone indicted. I'm not being that person. But that's how a lot of people view him.
Yeah. I mean, from knowing Vlad, I know that he probably cares more about the result in terms of his interviews. Like, he's just told me that he's done things that I could never imagine doing and that I was shocked to hear any person say, in the sense that he told me that he called the fucking police department when he interviewed the baby to make sure that the Walmart situation was a closed case because he really wanted to ask him about it and he wanted to be able to say definitively like that this was a closed case or whatever. when I heard him say that, I was like, oh, that's a step that I never would have thought of in terms of making sure that his interview didn't.
Let's hypothetically talk. And I promise this has nothing to do with Vlad saying poor things about me or any fake back and forth we've ever had. Do you think his intent was to make sure the baby was good and that case was closed, or he'd been called that so much that he can bring up in another interview to say, hey, do you know that I did this? Hey, do you know this? Do you know this? Hey, do you know that? Like, is he
going down a rabbit hole?
Yeah, is he now just starting to do that because he's been called this so much?
But
and he's a smart dude and a strategic
all products of the criticism that we've taken over the years.
100%.
Like, for sure, the worst shit I ever read about myself on Twitter is like stuff that really I probably internalized, and it made me think twice about what I was putting out there into the world.
Oh, no, there's a lot of hate I've gotten that I've taken like they right.
Yeah, if you can't take
they're
something
right.
from them,
but
your biggest hater, then you're probably.
But I'm saying, was it
yeah.
only for him going, damn, maybe I should look out for these artists and this culture that I'm profiting off of?
I'll give you another example.
Or do you think he's just doing it to say now, hey, look at me, I did this?
Vlad did a banger Taxstone interview like a couple days before he got locked up and never put it out.
I've heard that, yeah.
You know, like that kind of stuff. Like I think he does put people's freedom above his own personal
Let
interests.
me ask you a question, and I hope that, shout out to Tax, and I hope that trial goes amazing. No matter the result of that entire situation, what do we think Vlad's going to do?
Ask people about it on the podcast?
No, I think he's going to put it out.
Oh, after the fact? Maybe.
And I think I think he's holding something that he knows now because he's a smart businessman. He was not holding that for some moral reasons.
But I interviewed Tax like that same week, so I don't think that Tax was saying anything incriminating. Because when I asked him about that situation, he didn't say shit.
That's
nothing incriminating.
Adam. That's my point. He's not holding that for moral reasons, and I'm not mad at him for that. He's holding that because he knows whenever that trial happens, he has a tax interview. That's a business move. That's not a moral move, and I'm not mad at Tax for that. I'm sorry, Vlad for that. Yeah, of course you're gonna hold that.
One thing
Don't say that's some like moral cultural shit.
But if he had dropped it at the time, it would have been getting views all throughout this. Whereas if he drops it 6 years after Tax gets popped, I mean, is anyone going to even care? I mean, not as much as...
Are you crazy?
Yeah, but if he had dropped it back then... But people don't want to watch an old interview.
Yep. Vlad's whole platform is flashbacks.
I have some great old interviews, and I'm pretty sure if I dropped them, that nobody would care because the world has just moved on.
One thing that I can say about Vlad, dealing with him myself, the first thing he told me is, if you don't like nothing that you said in here, let me know. I'll take that shit out. And I thought that was cool because I'm hearing the theories and I'm like, okay, he gonna try to trip me out and say some shit. And a lot of times, bro, you go places, these people are not media trained. You feel me? They go say some bullshit and then they go, hey, I said some fucked up shit. Can you take it out? How many times do you think that he hears that shit? You know what I'm saying? And then after that is, it's fuck you because now you making me look bad. Like, nah, nigga, you made yourself look bad. If this nigga the police, why the fuck are you even going over there?
Up
I
until
always say that.
Up until this specific podcast, the only thing I've really talked about with Vlad is I feel he takes advantage of younger kids that don't realize what they're saying. They just see a huge platform and they trying to get out of the circumstance they're in, and that's one of the biggest platforms ever. And I think it's exploited to some degree. I'm not mad at Vlad talking to grown men, and if they want to criminate themselves, that's on them. That's the only thing I've ever said. And then Vlad, which we know, this is a fact, is one of the most sensitive people ever. He created in his head that I've just been shitting on Vlad. That's the only thing I've said for real about Vlad. And then he called me unintelligent. And when you start attacking, like, all right, now you're doing something. I was just talking about your platform. Now you're trying to say I'm stupid.
You can't read.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can say that about...
I know my ABCs.
You can say that about a
my
lot of
1, 2,
people.
3s.
You know, like clearly like Orlando Brown is not of sound mind, and he'll get a million interviews from everybody. It's the same shit. Our own people will do it to us. Everybody will do that. Because right now I feel like everybody's just looking for that click.
Absolutely.
They want that revenue and shit like that too. So we can't just say, oh, Vlad is the only one doing it. Nah.
Oh, we were going to do the Kanye interview.
That's what I'm saying. And then even before, people gave you a lot of slack for the Boom Gang interview. They like, why did Adam, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's an interview that wouldn't have came out if it wasn't live. And it wouldn't even happen if it weren't live.
But the argument was like, you knew that he was off of something. You feel me? But you're not thinking about the shit like that.
I beg people to watch the full context of that interview so you could see me begging him to not come on camera.
But the other platforms doing it, theory, I don't know if I really rock with. Because if you want to be the biggest platform, you are the face of it. And now you need to take the heat for everything below you. Of course, there's a million platforms that do what Vlad does. No, I'm not talking about them because Vlad is the biggest one and he's the face of it. So he has to take the heat for everyone else that does it. I'm not going to sit here and condemn every other YouTube platform. Because why?
I just think that even
he's the biggest one.
But the thing you said about him, sort of baiting young kids into incriminating themselves.
I didn't say baiting.
I mean, that even if that's true, that's such a microscopic part of like what his interviews are. Like his interviews aren't even like mostly rappers, I would say at this point. He interview, and like the percentage of like really young dudes that Vlad interviews is like really small.
I go to see Boosie.
Yeah,
I love Boosie.
Whenever I look at it, there's a bunch of old heads I never
Does
heard of half
Boosie
the
do
time.
interviews with anybody else? I only see him on
Very
I
infrequently.
only see him on
but him and
Vlad.
Vlad have a financial relationship,
Oh, okay.
clearly.
So I think it makes sense for him to kind
Listen,
of focus on Vlad.
I've loved Yayo on his platform. I've watched it.
Yeah.
Like I don't not watch certain Vlad stuff, but there was a time that was building that platform that was that type of shit. It's certainly changed, which is cool. But again, I think a lot of that had to do with the flack he was getting. And cool, you get criticism, change it. But we can't pretend like that wasn't a thing at one point.
I feel like Vlad pisses a lot of people off on a personal level, and then they kind of judge the platform as a result. Or even like the way he conducts his interviews. Sometimes, yes, it can feel a little bit like coppish. It kind of feels like he's getting the entirety of the information on a story.
The point of an interview is pretty much what police do. So, of course, it's going to come across that way.
But like he does things in interviews that I don't necessarily do, where he'll like actually have like an entire outline of your whole life and ask you about each thing step by step. Which
got your Wikipedia page.
it's actually very good, like in terms of like breaking down somebody's life, but it does come across a certain way.
It's interrogation.
Yeah.
I just think it's funny that AD and Mo watching us have white on white crime.
I love it.
Vlad.
I'm about to say this is what I wanted. That's why I asked Vlad.
I will do you
Adam the
proud.
question.
But yeah, no, I don't have anything personal with that. I just think it's a conversation.
Right.
That's all. Because I let that whole unintelligent shit fly and just minding my business.
But it's interesting that you're still connected to your prior boss's ops. You're not going to just change your attitude. Have you linked up with any of his ops?
No, I don't. But that's just weird to me to even begin with. Like, and even Vlad said that in that same thing. Like, oh, he could have done an interview with me had he not done that. I don't want to do an interview. I promise you, if Vlad hit me at any point in my
What are
entire
you
life,
hiding, Rory?
Vlad will find it.
Definitely.
I would it's funny someone saying I would never do an interview with you when you would never accept an interview. Like,
You
I'm
don't
not
think it would be
asking-
good for the podcast overall? Couldn't hurt, right?
We don't base our entire podcast off what we
Saweetie could have sold 10,000 or 10 times as many records if she had gone on Vlad.
Yeah,
You believe that?
Probably not, but
You
maybe
really,
more.
You don't believe that.
And
shit.
because that's your man, you let him get that off.
I didn't
That was
call
a
him out on
crazy
it.
tweet.
That was probably
was
a bad
sick.
tweet. Yeah,
that was sick.
Fair.
10 times as
like,
much.
That's crazy.
Maybe a small boost.
How much percentage do you think Vlad's is male? The percentage of his demographic.
Probably similar to ours, like 80,
Same.
85%.
Ours is
yeah.
is
That's
high
a
male
very
as
good
well.
point. Yeah,
So we were all gonna watch the Saweetie interview and be like, "Yo,
I gotta peep that
gotta
tape.
cop
I
that."
gotta hear that album.
Nah.
How many views is the clip getting? Where it's like
She would do views. Don't get me wrong.
Vlad
We would
asked
look at her
Saweetie
face and
about
talk.
fucking Lil Baby and members of the Migos versus the clip that Saweetie talks about her new album.
Right.
I'm probably not going to clip.
I'm clicking
the
on
one
the
about
first
the
one.
album. Yeah, the first one.
And even
sounds
though I
pretty
know
good, though.
Saweetie probably won't go talk about Baby, Migos, and all that, and I respect her for it.
You want to see how she turns it down.
You think if she did that, all of Vlad's audience would have been like, "Well, let me hear the bars." They're not listening to the album.
But I would say that it would have been good promotion. Probably not the kind of promotion that she wants though at this point, because he would have been really asking her all the
Come on,
personal
man.
shit that she
The
probably.
Shade
But she
Room
did put
and
out a
all
song like
everything
directly
probably.
addressing it around that time
Yeah.
as well.
No matter what, it would be good promotion. I'm not saying it would direct to sales. Just be good promotion.
Yeah. Turning podcast views into sales is
Very
a pretty big task.
Would you ever consider adding like some East Coast acts and personalities to your channel?
Yeah, I've even had a couple of people that seem like they kind of made sense, but it's like, what am I really doing for them on the East Coast? Like, it's kind of hard for me to figure out like where I could help somebody start a podcast, but it's kind of hard for me to figure out what the value would be of me having like a network that also was on the East Coast.
Is that Black Dave?
Black Dave, yeah. Fuck with Black Dave. Harlem. But yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's hard for me to like imagine exactly like what's the point of that or like how exactly that would work.
And be on Zoom the whole time?
Well, that's Yeah, if we were doing it back and forth. But
What do you think SoundCloud did wrong?
I mean, they were a competitor to streaming services that had billions of dollars. I don't know. SoundCloud probably should have became a streaming service, right? Like, or I guess they probably did, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you pay for
But
it.
nobody gave a fuck because you're competing with Spotify and Apple Music.
You don't think they should have been a label? Because they had a whole genre of music and didn't
That would
have
been great.
any connection to which the discovery
But
of the
they're-
artists.
Where were
that
they?
they
They're in
promote.
Europe, right? Like they have no fucking clue about our
Sure
culture.
I'm sure they're around the corner somewhere in LA.
But I've had I remember I did an interview with the CEO back in the day, and it was like the most stiff CEO ass conversation I ever had in my life. Like they were like a tech company. I don't really think they had any kind of grasp on what it would have been to like invest in culture. I don't know.
It's just crazy to me that there's no genre called Spotify rapper, Apple rapper. SoundCloud rapper is a whole genre and moment in hip hop history,
But
and they did not benefit from it at all.
the definition of SoundCloud rapper is basically like rapper who lacks the money or resources to get their music uploaded onto proper streaming services.
Yeah, it did have
Yeah.
like a negative.
At that
connotation
time,
to
that
it.
was basically like what it meant.
But
People were
at
saying
one-
just
but at one-
mumble rap before
at
that.
one point, it wasn't though. And if you could look at your own analytics of, because SoundCloud to me was discovery.
Why do I have
they
130?
It's
We have
definitely the-
130,000
they created
followers on the No Jumper SoundCloud for no reason. We do nothing with it now.
And also for the most part, like you could say what you will about streaming. My biggest issue with it is there is no discovery. It's so much based off what they're gonna give you. Where SoundCloud was, you could play something that had 10 million views with the algorithms. It was based off chords. It would go to something that was 200 plays. Like that was the discovery factor of it. And if you have that data, and the SoundCloud rapper thing is like really a thing, like why are you not reaching out to those
That's what I used
rappers to
like
put that
about-
together? Like that's not even foresight. That's just
It
an
occurs
obvious
to me,
1 plus
but
1
when you
equals
say
2.
that, like it playing song after song and then it plays a song with 200 views, sounds a lot like TikTok, right? Like I feel like what people
Sure.
might have been getting from
Sure.
SoundCloud, they're now kind of getting from TikTok
That's-
largely too.
That's how I heard of Juice World. My
Yeah.
little brother's playing them on SoundCloud. I'm like, who is this? He's like, oh, this is Juice WRLD. I'm like, damn, nigga, nice. But like, like you said about discovery, that's why I used to appreciate hot new hip hop and that piff, because you will sit there and look, and it may be an artist that you never heard of. Be like, why is
trusted the
he on the
platform.
front? All right, let me at least give it a listen, and
Yeah.
you become a fan like that. There ain't a lot of platforms like that now, and I don't feel like people are going to this editorial playlist and really finding new artists like that the same way that they would.
I mean, there's no curators in general because we all lived through the blog era where it was like, oh, these are individuals who have strong opinions about music. Now we have playlists, and then we have influencers / commentators who talk about stuff that's already popular for the most part.
Yeah.
And like, you just don't have a lot of curation going on.
No, I think the SoundCloud
We got tired of that
algorithm
word.
was
That's
the
what it was. We got tired of hearing curator,
yeah.
so we killed the curation.
It was
I
it was
don't
the purest form of algorithm, I think, is what SoundCloud.
But
was.
when you think about like a music critic whose job is to basically like report on whatever weird ass shit that they're listening to, you don't see a lot of influencers in hip hop who their brand is based on like, yo, look at all the fucking cool ass music that I know about. It's just kind of like people get driven into dealing with the popular shit.
It's real shit.
I feel like the music critic has become the personality. So their listeners are more tuned into the person that's talking about the music rather than the music. Like it's
Yeah.
not like a review anymore. It's I'm deciding to fuck with this rapper or this singer.
And the
that's what
conversation
we
is
like
so
now.
rarely about the music. It's like almost always about their personal
That's
lives
what
and shit.
I'm saying. Yeah, that influencer shit. What are they really influencing besides themselves? Which is fine. Like if influence yourself,
Right.
monetize yourself. But you're not an influencer. Like you're not influencing anything outside of your brand.
But I'm telling you, like, if AD started doing a segment on his podcast where he did a half hour of listening to underground rap, it would be the least popular segment of whatever you were doing that week. Like, people just are not, like, I don't know, like, putting people on to new music is very fucking difficult. They're
It's
very.
extremely
It
difficult.
is,
Yeah.
but I think that if
Anyone
you
who's
have-
ever seen an artist perform live that they didn't know knows
And-
your body resists it. You know?
Well, also you have to look at like all right, your personality on a microphone may not match your taste of music that your fans like. Like
real.
like a lot of, I'm a big R&B head.
Me too. He hates it.
I know for a fact a lot of our fan base does not want to hear me talk about anything R&B related. So you have to, like, I'm not an R&B influencer because I know most of my fan base, I may catch one where they'll be like, oh yeah, this is a crossover, I like this. But no, they wanted to hear me talk about rap shit.
I sent him an R&B playlist, Hated it.
You don't fuck with R&B?
I found out that men listen to R&B from the Joe Budden podcast. I just
You didn't know men listen to R&B?
I just have
I would tell him.
I never hung out with dudes who listen to R&B my whole life. And then all of a sudden I hear you guys having these in-depth conversations about all these R&B artists. And it wasn't really enough to make me want to go listen to them, but it definitely made me realize that that was a thing.
I like to drive around listening to 90s R&B damn near all day.
I was to drive around listening
All
to Pooh
day.
Shiesty. So I feel you.
What's your top 5 most played albums this year on your analytics?
Ooh,
How do
pull
you
it
get
up.
that? How do you get that on Apple Music? I don't know. I fucking was
where's
thinking
Julian?
about
He
that.
knows how to do it.
Julian showed us how to do it. We didn't know how to do
You
it
couldn't tell me?
on our show either.
I got mine.
Browse. Okay.
Great question.
Y'all know yours too?
Yeah,
did
we said
on
ours
the
already.
show. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see anything. I have no idea, honestly. I be listening to a lot of non-rap at this point with the kid.
What's the shit? I just did it too. I know number one was my homie Blast, man. Shout out to Blast.
Love
Shout out
Blast.
to Blast. Good.
He was
my
number
guy.
one.
I listen to music on Spotify and Apple Music too, so I feel like it would be very
Does he fuck with Blast? Because Blast, you could definitely
I
put
like
in
Blast.
a real
But
R&B
I see the
category.
talent in Blast, but it is not something that I'm like driven to
He
like
really
listen
hates
to.
R&B.
How though?
It's just I've never really been attracted to like soft singing music my whole life.
Told you he's like a Grinch, man.
Where the
No, I
bodies
just
at,
have
Adam?
I have an opinion, huh?
Where the bodies hitting at?
Huh?
Where the bodies hitting at? Because you don't listen to soft music. Like you got to be like just.
I wouldn't even
Serial
consider
killer
Blast
on
soft
the low.
music.
I mean, he's singing.
Nah.
Like
But
at all.
anything with singing, a lot of shit is melodic. He don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
But Blast does like what I think for like rap fans, what Nate Dogg did, what Ty ended up doing. Like Blast, I think is in that category outside of his solo stuff, which can be real R&B.
I'll put it like this: there's an artist I interviewed the other day, and I was listening to his whole mixtape on the
Tory's
way
in the
over
top
to do the
5 too.
interview.
You're part of the problem.
Yeah,
Blast, Future, SWV,
misogyny.
Okay, I like it.
Kendrick Lamar, Tory, Drake, and Guy, the R&B group.
They had one. He had
know
one
Guy.
song on the whole tape that had singing on the hook. It was a girl singing on the hook, and it's like I just felt it. Like, and I wanted to skip past the song so bad. As soon as the
Why you
hook
mad at
started,
melodies,
what?
man? What's wrong with
I don't know.
What did you listen to growing up?
Ain't no cunt.
Rap?
Who's your favorite rapper?
Of all time?
Yeah.
Jay. Probably
What's your favorite
Nas.
J album? It can't be Blueprint because there's nothing but melodies all over that
I'm
shit.
about to say,
No, I like
Blueprint is the
Blueprint.
best.
No, but he rapping over melodies. Sped up soul beats is not like that. I don't have an aversion to that. I actually love that. That's actually one of my favorite eras of hip hop production.
The
All the
Dipset.
Dipset shit, all the sped up
Diplomat
soul samples,
Community
early
One.
Kanye.
Yeah.
Heat makers.
I'd be totally fine if Kanye just kept making music that sounded like that for his whole career.
I ain't gonna lie, the new one that he just dropped on his Instagram was fire.
They took that down,
They
right?
took it down, but that shit was fire.
No comment.
But I grew up listening to a lot of punk and hardcore and metal and shit too. So I mean, I don't know. I just never really got into it.
How'd you go from hardcore metal to hip hop?
I was just listening to it all at the same time.
Got you. Okay.
That all appealed to me. I was a very angry young guy, you know.
Same. I
can
understand.
tell.
What did your parents listen to?
Bill Clinton.
A lot of like Motown.
Like, wait, him on the saxophone or like Bill's speeches?
I would
Walking
say
into your parents playing a Bill Clinton speech.
he's got like 3 jokes.
The Bill Clinton sax album?
I listened to a lot of like Motown. Like I just remember Marvin Gaye and Michael Jackson being
See,
consistent
wait, what the
presences.
fuck?
And no, I like that shit.
That's melody and
Yeah, but it's not.
that's the definition of it.
Okay, so you like that type of music. You don't like the new
Yeah.
current vibe, 90s R&B, no.
If you rapping about or like rapping about popping bottles in the club and eating pussy, like no,
But that's not all R&B right now.
it's too much. And,
A lot of it is.
and I'm gonna be real.
Not really though.
I just don't want to hear chicks singing about nothing anyway. Like I just don't. Like those are your problems. I don't want to hear about it.
That sounded really specific.
It's just
Which
like
song?
a lot of
Those are your
R&B I
problems.
listen to. I'm just like, that's cool, but I don't relate to it.
Okay.
That's fair.
It just doesn't really feel like it's about my life.
Top 5 favorite albums. And I never like doing this list shit, but this I'm just interested because you really hate melodies.
The fact that you said Jay's your favorite rapper was it fucked
That
me up. I wasn't
that threw me
expecting
off.
that.
I would have
Why?
never thought that.
I just didn't think he was a Jay fan.
I mean, for me, it was like Jay and Nas really kind of like took me to another level of rap fandom when I was maybe like 16, because I'd always been a rap fan, but I wasn't like fully all the way in on the drama and the gossip and who had beef with who and shit. And then somehow the Jay and Nas shit just like really forced me to like, oh, now I'm buying a Jungle album. Now I'm buying a couple of Memphis Bleak albums.
Big Noid had one of my favorite albums.
Now I know what a
time.
dun is.
A done.
Yeah.
I remember Dipset made me buy an Uncasa album, the whole Purple City Bird Gang.
You know how many
really invested in
bootleg
that shit.
Dipset mixtapes I bought on Canal Street that just ended up being like nothing? It was just like all just songs from other albums like remixed and shit.
Top 5 albums.
Really got scammed a lot. Oh,
And when you download on LimeWire off a false file, you got Bill Clinton's voice, if you remember that.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Spent 2 hours waiting for a song to download. It was just a Bill Clinton ad.
I remember that.
I like Volume 2.
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I just like Volume 2 better than fucking
Also a very
Reasonable
melodic
Doubt
album
in a
too,
weird way.
which is odd.
I mean, they could be having
Hard
melodies
Knock
on the
Life
beats.
that one?
Mm-hmm.
Hard Knock
Yeah.
Life is on that one, right? Yeah.
I love that tape. And I love the Rock La Familia one. But whatever.
Best intro.
I don't know, dude. I suck at top fives.
I do too.
Listen, a lot of
I know it's
Mobb
I know
Deep.
it's a
Your top
shitty
five
question.
is
I also
Night
want
and
to put.
Jay-Z albums.
I want to put Tupac "Me Against the World" up there. It's
Classic.
definitely one of my favorite albums of all time. And then the
melodic.
All Eyes on Me too. But I'm not sure which one I would pick over the other.
All Eyes on Me.
What's the Mobb Deep one with both their faces on it that I always
Infamous.
listen to? Yeah. That's definitely up there.
Less melodic. I can get that one.
Ooh, that's that good shit. I might listen to that on the way home.
The Infamous?
Yeah.
Top 5 Motown albums.
I don't know about all that. I'll put on like Aretha Franklin, Spotify, or whatever. Like my
What?
my fandom for
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
yeah, my fandom for like rap involves me wanting to know every detail about the lives of the people making it. But then my fandom of every other type of music is like, oh, I like the music, and I don't really give a fuck about anything about your personal life.
You fuck with the Temptations?
Yeah.
Favorite Temptations song?
I don't know what I'm like. I'm telling you, I'm like the ultimate casual when it comes to every other type of music. Like I will go to YouTube and type in like indie rock essentials. I would never in a billion years listen to rap like that. Like I would never go to Rap Caviar.
Damn.
Just not like how I
Take a shot
choose
at
to
rap.
consume
Yeah,
rap. I have like
goddamn.
very specific preferences with rap.
I'll go to Cali Heat, though.
See, I don't even. Rap Caviar might be the only playlist I've ever been to.
Aretha Franklin spelling out respect or Boosie spelling out independent.
Aretha Franklin. I like that hook.
Okay.
But the actual sonics of the record, I don't know. It's not my favorite.
Sorry, that was funny to me.
That's kind of like why I like Leon Bridges, and he brought that old feeling back, that first album that he had.
Yeah.
But like the old Sonics and shit. You know who Leon Bridges is?
No.
Yeah,
I'm going
he
back to my
definitely
question
doesn't
list.
know who Leon
Yeah.
Bridges is. No.
We've gone too far here.
I feel
yeah.
I feel like the label just threw a fedora on him and it pissed me off. Just because his voice was like that, like I felt like they dressed him away and it bothered me a little bit.
I mean,
because I fuck with Leon Bridges' music for real.
Yeah.
I hated that they tried to like, all right, you have to put the Harlem Renaissance suit on.
That kind of, yeah. That was
It was too obvious.
yeah.
No, you know what's his name? Lee Fields. You ever heard him?
Mm-mm.
Lee Fields and the Expressions. There's a song called "I Still Got It." You wouldn't even believe that it's like a recent song. This sounds so old.
It sounds old.
It's like an old ass black dude. I don't know where the fuck he came from or why
Yeah,
he has
Lee
these like
Fields sounds familiar.
super polished music videos or anything. But that one song is like one of the best songs I ever heard. And I was blown away when I realized that it was new. I thought it was an old ass song. I still got it. I still got it.
Wait, how
I
it go?
definitely heard
Take
that song.
my pants, my shirt, my
I
shoes.
definally heard that. It's funny.
I still
definitely
got
heard
it.
that song now that he's singing it like that.
I just fucked up the order of the pants.
You gotta
shirt,
hear the
shoes.
old guy. I went home to be with my side piece. I like
It sounds like that. You will fuck with that song though. I don't know why. I just know it from a bike video. Cause that's why I like all the emo shit I like is all from like early bike videos. All indie rock shit that I got into was all just bike videos and skate videos had hella rock music. So I just ended up with like way too much knowledge of that, even though I just know the music. I don't know about them as people though.
I don't want to harp on the melodies anymore, but it is also crazy. It just hit me like you found X to some degree. I don't know if you claim
Yeah,
that
he
or
wasn't
whatever.
singing back then.
X was made some of the best melodies I've heard in however many years.
I know.
He's fucking incredible.
He was good at all that, but that ain't really my shit.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. He
You guys
knows
listen
that.
to the R. Kelly album?
You knew that. No, but that was fake? It was like 100% fake?
No, it was out.
A lot of them
I didn't
songs
listen to it.
was old
He
though.
said he released a statement saying that's not him.
Right. But was it songs that he had recorded?
Yeah, like old. Some
Or
of them
was
were
it some
old,
kind
though.
of prank? Like somebody uploaded it to his
no,
account or something?
That wasn't. he released a statement saying that's not him at all.
Okay.
Oh, really?
But I remember in
see, I didn't see that.
2018 that I Admitted song came out. It was like 13, 14 minutes long, and that was like a big thing. But I'm like, when I seen it on there, I'm like, nah, this old. This can't be new songs and shit.
So
He
that
said
wasn't
it was
on
all
like
fake.
the real R. Kelly streaming page?
It
I
was-
swear I saw screenshots
No,
of
it was
that.
on the page.
It was on Apple Music.
Yeah, I
So
don't
that
know
can't
who-
be fake R. Kelly if it's on the...
I realized what a casual R&B fan I am when I went to this wedding and when we got on the shuttle bus for them to drive us like a half hour to the venue, the dude at the front of the bus just puts on R. Kelly. And I just didn't give a
So,
fuck at all. I didn't even
as
think
a-
twice about it.
As a ladies' man, how do you feel?
Don't point at me and say that.
I can
You know
fuck
what
to
I
R.
mean?
I
You
can
said
put
you
on R.
always
Kelly.
got the ladies' opinion, right? So we had an argument
that.
earlier
I've
about
never
this.
said that.
Do you still listen to R. Kelly's old music? Can you, you know what I'm saying, differentiate that from the charges until the old music?
It wouldn't even cross my mind.
See, both of y'all. I said I still listen to the old shit because I used to, you feel me, listen to it growing up. But the new shit, I won't give it no play. Me personally.
I don't support that shit at all.
No.
So when you're in the club and my mind's telling me no.
When that comes on, I look at the DJ like he's weird.
And I've never been in
Why
a
are
club
you
when that
playing
has
that?
came on since.
Really?
I've been to a lot.
It's just weird for a DJ to play R. Kelly.
And I
get it.
We loved R.
Separate the
Kelly,
artist
but-
from the art. I get all of that shit. But come on, fam. It's a lot of other music we can still listen to. A lot of old classic shit. we listen
I'm not like the moral high ground person at all. I certainly do make this shit a buffet. But when it comes to underage shit, I'm cool. There'll be a lot of shit I'll let slide as far as criminal acts and be okay with it. I draw the line there.
Real shit.
I'm just so not invested in who the narrator is in his songs. It just like I don't even think of it. But that says a lot about my lack of interest in the genre. So.
That was weird.
But if I'm in an R&B,
That was crazy.
I don't know, dude. I just don't get it. But they already know that. We've talked
Can
about
I
that
make
at
you a R&B playlist?
Sure, you better not embed a bunch of fucking AD songs in it like he did. I listen,
Wait.
I put it on and it's got all
You
his
made him
shit
an
in
R&B
it.
playlist
Yes.
with your music in it?
It was all mixed
I'm
in.
sprinkled in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right in between Guy and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
felt like
shit going
promo.
after that.
And he texted me too. He was like, well, I don't want to hear about you like saying shit like this.
Well, I don't need to hear dudes talk about eating pussy.
But I like R&B, so I'm like, if I'm gonna make some shit too,
That's cool.
it can fit up in there. You know what I mean?
But older R&B, like, they hit it. Like, Summer Rain, Carl Thomas, yeah, he's talking about him being rained on. But
Right.
he's really talking about Shorty squirting on him. But if you're listening, you don't really know.
And then you got the great Brian McKnight. Let me show you how your pussy works. Since you did it,
See, I
was the sickest
can't.
album
I ain't trying to
ever.
listen to any dude say some shit like
It's a
that.
legend.
It's amazing.
It's a
I
legend.
can't listen to that.
Legendary.
I don't even know what it is, but
Wait, but rappers talk about that shit too, though.
no, I'll be skipping that shit too. I don't want to hear about that.
Lil Wayne, when he made pussy eating popular.
Yeah, that wasn't
That is
really-
true.
That was like an arc in his music that I wasn't really overjoyed with, and I love pussy more than anybody. I'm just saying. I
We
don't
know.
really want to hear a rapper talk about it.
How'd you feel about listening to J. Cole rap about losing his virginity?
Not positively.
Me either.
Ain't want to hear that.
Much
shit.
I was
respect
so-
to him. Legendary artist, great
Fair.
guy.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I love Cole to
absolutely.
death. That was one
Not
of the
my
more
favorite song.
uncomfortable rap songs I've ever heard in my life.
You
Like,
could have kept that one.
I appreciate the contribution to the genre in the sense that if he didn't do that, probably nobody else ever would have done that.
and that's fine. No one needs to do it again.
Groundbreaking. Yeah.
I don't care how
He
any
did
of
it
y'all
so
lost your
nobody else had
virginity.
to do it.
Right.
I wonder how he feels about it. Actually, I should ask him that.
He should have kept that one.
He probably
send-
feels
like, send that to
today.
the
He
group
probably
chat.
feels like that. I should have kept that.
I mean, people forget like that the J. Cole is corny narrative was like hella strong for a long ass time. And I feel like that song probably played a big role in that.
I think Cole is the perfect example that internet corny doesn't matter at all.
That's true.
That was the biggest narrative ever in Twitter.
What matters
Cole
on
is
the internet?
boring. This motherfucker selling out arenas. Like,
I mean, it's just opinions.
Things only last for a day, 2 days, maybe.
Not even that.
Like, look, nobody's even talking about Kanye today.
Kanye,
give him 24 hours.
Kanye did
He
a
might do
Clubhouse call with Wack that Clubhouse took down because it was so offensive and nobody even talked about it. Like, that says a lot about how far we've come that, like, you know, the Kanye shit is kind of like too far gone that it's almost hard to even think of shit that will really grab people's attention at this point.
He's oversaturating it. And I'm not talking about the content, just how much he keeps saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, there was some mystique in Kanye, regardless of how many interviews he's done. You going everywhere to say the same fucking thing?
If you hang
We're
out with
gonna
Nick
stop
Fuentes for a couple months, it's kind of like, whoa. nobody's gonna really be all that shocked by anything else you do. Like I never saw that coming in a billion years.
I didn't think him coming no jumper was even will ever be on the table. And then hey,
what would y'all have asked that other kid?
You know what?
Nick, whatever his name is.
We had an interview with him before, and I feel like, the homie, shout out to the homie Guilty, he gave me a lot of shit to study for. And I was like, I ain't got to study for this nigga. But I was like, damn, he was hitting us with shit that we was like, all right, I wish I was more equipped for that. So this time I was like, I'm doing my homework. Like we really, we trading notes and doing research. And I'm like, when he comes here now, we about to hold it down. We're going to have all the facts.
He's
together.
very, very good at selling you the idea that he is very, very proud of being white and that he thinks all the races should basically live separately, but that he's not a racist.
Okay.
Which is kind of like, it becomes hard to really pin him on whatever. Like it was just, I didn't really know where to go with it.
Did you vote for Trump?
No. I'm a Biden guy.
From New Hampshire.
Sliding for Biden, hash brown town.
Sliding for Biden. We spin the block for the Dems.
You feel like we should give everybody a platform or everybody a conversation?
No.
So with the Nick kid, do we think we're changing anyone's minds if we? Because I do agree, we all do need to talk if we disagree. I live on that side, but with that kid, what? All right.
I agree.
What's going to happen besides clicks?
It wasn't
We're
a
not going to
terribly
change
productive
anybody's
conversation.
mind.
Yeah.
That side's going to believe that. This side's going to believe that. It's literally just a debate.
Yeah. It did
clicks.
kind of feel like a waste because I already knew his position on everything. So it's like, I'm not really going to do an interview where I'm just like, well, you're a racist. You're a racist. You're a racist. Like I just don't really want to get somebody on the podcast and just state obvious shit over and over.
Yeah.
So I didn't really know where to go with it.
The fucked up part about the whole Kanye thing, especially the Drink Champ shit, is him saying what he said. It really overshadowed a lot of good shit he said in that interview.
It was great.
The
Before
Drink
all
Champs
that
one?
Drink Champs one. He said a lot of really good shit in that interview, but it obviously was overshadowed about the things that he said that everybody was offended about. But listening back to that, or, it was hard to find it now online. They pretty much take it down as soon as somebody puts it
Gotta
up.
go to Rumble.
But he, right. But
I've watched multiple things on Rumble in recent memory, and that site fucking sucks.
Really?
Oh, it's terrible. It's like dealing with a site from the 90s.
Damn.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, but he had some good shit to say in there. But this shit he's on now is I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about at this point.
Yeah, it feels like everybody who was defending Kanye at a certain point just kind of gave up on it. Hip hop's kind of trying to pretend this isn't happening, and it has been very quiet for the last week or so. So it's kind of easy to pretend, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Clubhouse, they stopped that shit right in the middle of him talking.
It was a weird feeling to be like,
when is Clubhouse gonna add video?
probably never.
Don't they take it? You think they'll take shit away from it?
Having 50 videos.
Won't
on
be
the screen?
Clubhouse no more.
How long does Clubhouse last?
I mean, people are still going there.
No, 100%.
I'd like to know the numbers, how
Yeah,
popular
I
it
want
is
to know
right
what
now.
Wack is getting paid.
Wack is keeping
No,
that
Wack
shit
is the
alive.
CEO.
Yeah,
For
he is.
sure. He's keeping that
All right,
shit
what I'm saying
alive.
is, if Wack decides to not go on Clubhouse
It's
tomorrow,
dead. It's over.
how long does Clubhouse exist at all?
I'm sure it's still relevant in some other worlds, like the Silicon
we
Valley
know,
people.
Because that's what they did during quarantine. We all made Clubhouse the most popping shit ever, and then it died, and because they tried to do the tech shit and they wanted to go on the nerdy side, which is whatever, and it failed. Wack made that shit what it is now. If Wack decides to leave and they go back to the nerdy shit, it's gonna die the same way it did before Wack got on there.
Real shit.
I don't know. I assume there's a bunch of random niche communities on there, but I've personally never had any desire to do it. Like today, I've been on camera for 8 hours. The idea of me going home and then hopping on the phone and having more conversations for free.
Maul and
I'm
I
just
have-
how?
Maul and I have been recording for fucking 72 hours straight.
Right.
And I'm ready to lose my fucking mind.
Okay.
Crazy.
So now we know what state you guys are in. That's cool that you
100%.
waited to reveal that. That you're frazzled right now.
You didn't see it from the beginning?
It wasn't coming through.
energy.
He's keeping himself alive with these Skittles.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a fact.
$2 Skittles. Yeah.
You want to know a big complaint I have about your podcast?
Sure.
The camera angle typically doesn't show your shoes, which I felt like was always kind of a big part of the JBP. It was what shoes is Maul going to wear this week, and how many fucking pairs of shoes could he possibly own?
Way too many. I mean, well, ever since we moved into Rory's house, he has a nice carpet, so we take our shoes off.
Oh.
But we're ready to move into a new
Except for
studio
DJ
soon,
Drama.
so we'll change. We'll change
Maybe like
the
a
angle.
shoe cam.
You fuck up the
Yeah.
carpet.
Yeah. Only
Drama
Drama
walks
walks
in
house
with-
right now.
brand new Dior's and just went right on my white carpet like this.
But they were brand new. He put them on and
It was for the fit.
Once you move into the new studio, we'll change the camera angles again.
You think we should do the Wendy Williams shoe cam from all?
They do that? I don't know if I
thing.
ever actually watched the Wendy Williams show, but yeah, definitely. Check in real quick, you know?
Way too many sneakers, though.
How serious do you guys take the drip on the pod? Like, can you repeat outfits?
Yeah.
Hey, I do all the time now.
Oh,
And
okay.
since it's moved to my house, I walk out my bedroom in what I have on at the time.
Right. This morning, the hot water wasn't working. So I'm literally, which
So you didn't shower.
it usually takes a minute or two. Well, there's a happy ending to the story, but it usually takes like a minute or two before the water turns hot. So I'm standing there for probably like 25 minutes, like every minute, like putting my hand, still cold.
My shit tastes long too.
Still cold. Still cold. And then I'm really standing there like, am I about to go do 4 podcasts without a shower? Because the water is literally so cold that I don't think I could handle it.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to look up a YouTube video about how to turn the fucking gas back on. Because somehow when I was bringing in the trash cans, it turned the gas off. And it made it even worse because when the shower didn't work, what do? I'm like, I'm going to go make breakfast, kill some time. Fucking stove doesn't work either. Boom. Could have been the worst morning ever.
You fixed everything.
We fixed it, though.
Thanks to YouTube.
Thanks to you,
And
too.
see, even
Listen.
YouTube, when I listen to Clubhouse, I listen to it on YouTube. I don't go to that.
Yeah, that's all I do, too. Yeah.
What's the weirdest hobby y'all have that no one would know about?
Pokemon Go.
I don't know if it's a hobby, but I could do this.
I'm pretty open about all my hobbies. Yeah.
That's
I don't know what that is, but it's funny.
That's not a hobby.
I don't know what
sit
that
around
is.
the
That's
house.
funny.
What is that? He put his phone on his face. I don't know if it's a hobby,
What's
but I can do
sicker
this.
is that was the first thing he thought about.
Yeah.
I know.
He's like, I've been
Waiting
dying to show
He been
everyone
waiting
this.
to show
Hey,
that.
no, because like,
Finally, it's my chance.
I randomly be places like I can go to Starbucks and somebody call me and I'll be getting my order on them.
He's not lying, though. I've seen him do this
Yes,
a
and
million
I
times.
don't know it. I'll just sit there and I'll play the video game. I'll be talking. And
What
shit.
is holding it
People
to
like,
your
what the-
face? Is it
Is that
the
a cheekbone,
oil?
like eyebrow?
Is it a beard thing?
I don't
Bone?
know,
I think
man.
it's a
I
bone
had
structure
I had
thing.
what's that shit called? When they scan you, the CAT scan, there ain't no metal in there.
He has a fake beard.
You had to get CAT scanned to know if you had metal in your head.
You have a fake
No, I
beard
thought
and are
listen.
not riding with Tory
I
Lanez?
thought,
Fake beard.
I thought I had okay, you know you go into WebMD and shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
No.
thought I had brain cancer one time. So
From what?
I wasn't
You
feeling
had a headache?
it.
You thought you had brain cancer because your phone could stick to your face?
No, that could be part
Which,
of
by
it.
the way,
Yo, I got cancer.
which, by the way,
Yo, how
I
you
would
know you
agree
got
with that.
cancer? My phone is sticking to my face. What?
The ultra
I
right
feel
leg,
for
they
that,
just-
doctor. So I was on WebMD.
Hey, no, but I had anxiety problems. You feel me? And I was, this is when I stopped drinking. Cause I used to just drink crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna go cold turkey, and they told me don't do that. And I just started having like real mental problems and shit too. And then plus the shit sticking to my face. And I'm going, going to Google. I'm like, let me see these symptoms. And I'm like, everything is like you.
Death.
Cancer.
Yeah, I'm thinking like I got 2 weeks to live. So I
100%.
go to the emergency. They
2
rush
hours
me in
to
there.
live.
Yeah.
$15,000 bill if I didn't have insurance. So
Y'all both don't smoke cigarettes, right?
No.
See, that's why I think that y'all really broke up. Is that everybody on the other side smokes cigs. I feel like that, and when you're smoking cigs, you start talking. You guys aren't out there. You're on the couch in the house. You don't know what's going on in that conversation. All of a sudden, there's a divide.
I smoke weed.
The only thing I envy about cigarette smokers is you have, for some reason, the most socially acceptable reason to leave a conversation or a place you don't want to be. Yo, I'm gonna walk outside, smoke a cig. You could end a conversation socially acceptable in that regard.
Right.
Meanwhile, I'll be sitting here, someone talking my ear off, and I just have to be like, yeah, no, all right, I'm trying to do this. I gotta use the bathroom. Oh, I'll walk with you. You cigarette smokers, yo, I'm about to just
You smoke cigarettes?
smoke a cig. And they'll
Nah, once in a while, I just smoke spliffs mostly. But yeah, like, you ever see the dude in the club who's just rolling blunts back to back, and you're just like, oh, this is like a replacement for you having a personality.
Yeah.
Like, you have nothing going on in your head,
Yeah.
so you're just sitting here rolling up over and over. I see. Okay.
But
an
that is
addiction.
the club, though.
Yeah, it's a
You have
place
to
to
show
get fucked up.
you're
That's
either
true.
this
You
spend
can't be
money
sober in
guy.
the club.
no.
It's the worst place in the world.
I've done it, and it's
I know how to
fucking
handle it
stupid.
now, but it's still not fun.
Yeah.
You got to be the spend money guy, the roll weed guy, the guy that dances, the guy that's the plug,
Or you,
or
could be
you
the,
just don't go.
you be the bum ass nigga that drink everybody little bottles. You see your homies in there. Hey, let me get your drink.
We were in
You want
Miami.
your bottle?
We were in
Hey, you mind
Miami
if
in Miami on Fresh and Fit, and then we go to the fucking club at 4 a.m, and I'm stone cold sober, just looking at all these girls rolling off Molly, just, and I'm just like,
that sounds like a nightmare.
What the fuck? God.
Yeah, nah.
Like, what are you people doing? You've just been partying in here for 6 hours. And I just got here, and I'm just looking at you.
There'll be mothers one day.
Yeah.
Probably
and really,
already.
It probably ain't going to take that long. Girls flip the switch between, like, club trash to mom pretty quick, pretty easy.
Which I respect to some degree, but I guess it's just how you transition.
But I have, like, a morbid fascination with it when there's a girl that was getting, like, ran through by all the homies, and now she's got, like, 3 kids, and like, once in a while I just want to look at her Facebook and just kind of observe the transition.
Probably the best mom on Facebook.
Yeah. She got all her wiggles out early on.
Her wiggles.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how weird Adam was until today.
Why?
I always thought you was like super cool.
Nah.
But I'm like, oh, Adam is weird.
No, I'm tripping.
He's cool, but he's weird.
Yeah.
I like it though. I'm digging it.
No, I expected there to be a bunch of questions. That's why I was sitting there on the couch like, all right, bet. Let me get prepared.
What were we supposed to ask you about? You wanted like a drama interview?
No, not at all.
Nah, no drama.
So here's every single person who's ever dissed you. Let's go one through one.
Oh, no, I know you could have done that. And, you know, we had the prior conversation that wouldn't be this interview. We can be honest. I hate when people are not honest in podcasting anymore. I definitely didn't want to talk about any of that shit. Let's make it clear. But I thought because I do enjoy your interviews, I thought maybe you would have like a list of other things. You could just say I'm not interesting. It's okay.
No, you guys are cool. I like I like beef interviews. Like I like interviews where we get to talk about a bunch of messy shit. But I'm also very much like not trying to do interviews that other people have already done.
Agreed.
And I kind of feel like I can't think of anything that I would ask you guys about Joe or whatever that you probably haven't chosen to say on your own time. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh,
you know,
I agree, and I like it.
I think this is great.
Yeah, you're just over here.
I didn't like your tone when you said yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I forgot about the Vlad thing. Even
it wasn't really a thing. I think I just made it a thing.
I remember hearing him say that though, and be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, I thought it was weird.
That's how he feels. Right.
80, what else you want to do within content?
80, you think you got more hats than me?
I got more.
You should sell phone cases like that.
How many hats you really got?
I probably don't have more hats than you. I probably have more like custom hats.
Okay.
Cause I usually like give a lot of them away. Shout out to the homies at Cap City. You fuck with them while you out here and shit too. But
Cap City.
Cap City, yeah.
Is it Cap City out here?
Yeah,
You think custom shoes are cool?
They can be corny.
People give them to me sometimes, and I look at them and I'm like, aren't they supposed to be whack? Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not really like a sneaker guy. I don't really want to have my own opinions.
Now, there's some
other people's
Instagram
opinions.
pages that I follow with dudes that take a sneaker and kind of like
shoe surgeon.
Yeah, like little things like that. Like it's like okay, but so it could get corny. But
see, I like going to New York for the hats too, though. Like you got some.
We got a Cap City in New York. That's why I didn't know.
Hat Club, but then you got guys like Loso, my guy J Tips. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't fuck with none of them. So I got to put you on.
We had a hat battle.
Yeah, I lost.
They brought out they each brought out hats like one by one.
To the Great House Phone.
I heard about it.
Oh yeah.
The fans voted on it.
Yes, I lost fair and square.
Like, are you taking your L on this one?
I just said.
You know they broke a couple up at their recent show.
Yeah.
What you mean?
A couple broke up in London because they were asking her about her past whore behavior.
Jesus Christ.
Was it London?
Was it?
Or
that was Seattle.
No, that was Seattle. You're right.
Yeah, Seattle.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember back to London. Like, damn.
Shit. You've been running around just breaking everybody up everywhere.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that Seattle one was nasty because she came out with us afterwards.
Neither
like,
you.
We didn't just break them
involved?
up. Like, she linked us.
You weren't trying to get in there?
No. It was literally.
You couldn't bang a fan?
I don't think
did
so.
One time, and it's the worst shit in the world.
The worst.
Oh God, I would never do it again.
Really?
You know how weird it is to have sex with somebody that feels like they know you based off of what you do, and then like after you have sex, it's like, yeah. So when you was in that one episode, I was like,
yeah,
that's weird.
This is bad.
Like mid head, she got up, was like, yo, that just reminded me of what you was talking about.
Like, oh my God, I remember one episode you was saying how you like head, and I'm just like,
Yeah, like a girl having some basic knowledge of you is one thing, but a girl knowing what you talked about on the podcast for 2 hours the week before is a fucking creepy. My girl doesn't know what I'm talking about on here.
Yeah.
Do too much of this. She can't listen to that, you know?
Yeah.
Well, what defines a fan?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say I haven't fucked a fan. I fucked someone that's pretty well aware of what I was doing and probably fucked me because of it.
Right.
But it wasn't like listening twice a week and was telling me about every episode.
I
She's
have.
like, nah, I fuck with your podcast type shit.
Right.
I probably didn't deserve the pussy I got. It was based off her knowing what it was. But I don't consider that a fan.
But you get to the point where anyone that you might date in your relative world is going to be probably at least a little bit familiar with what you've done with your life.
Yeah.
That doesn't really make them a fan, though.
The funny thing is, though, through my relationships, it might be better to date the fan. She'd be more understanding. The people that don't listen all the time don't understand certain shit you have to do for content, embellishments, shit you just saying. That becomes a problem in your household.
But I'm thankful.
Maybe I should just take the fan that gets the jokes.
I'm
and
thankful
wife her.
that my inside jokes here don't transition through to home.
Of course not. They're not inside home jokes. They're
Yeah.
inside no jumper jokes.
Yeah. It takes a lot for my girl to become aware of the shit that we're talking on here. Like you accusing her of abusing the dog.
Free Ralphie, man.
She said last night, she's like, I was thinking about putting out a statement on my story saying that I'm not imprisoning the dog in a tiny cage, like AD said.
Crate training.
I'm
kind
like,
of
you
dog
don't
is
have to do that. I don't know. Some big
this
poodle
dog is like
thing.
8 feet tall with a 2-foot cage.
I think he's potty trained now, though. Because
He has no choice. He's sleeping in
we forgot to lock him up.
Laying in his,
No,
laying
that's
in
what
his
the,
shit.
the cage is all about, keeping him potty trained. But we forgot to put him in the cage the other night, and he didn't poop. So I think we might be all right.
Oh, yeah, give him freedom.
One of her family members, while I was chanting, she was with me,
Yeah, she's fucked up.
said, dog lives matter.
He's got a hot sister.
Man, oh, my
Oh wait, no, it wasn't her. It was her aunt. Hey, never mind.
You got that. You got that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you followed my sister on TikTok. I was like, nigga,
Yeah,
Oh, AD's sister's cute?
yeah,
stay away, Mom.
and she's
you
into
think-
me.
Nah, I'm just asking.
Do you think she looks like AD?
No,
Okay.
not at
Did
all.
she put her phone
I
on
was
her
just
face
curious
too?
how you.
I hope not.
We gotta find out. Get her in
Curious.
here.
That's such a weird talent, but that's some nigga talent. Like,
Not a
yo,
talent, a hobby.
None of you niggas
It's a hobby.
do
That was
this.
a hobby.
We don't want to do this.
Hey, it's very resourceful.
I like how Pokemon Go didn't rattle them at all.
Because you look like you would play Pokemon Go.
It's a great thing to do when you exercise.
That's the one that the kids were like running across the street, getting hit by cars, trying to catch.
The good old days.
He still do that.
Wait, it's still around?
Yeah,
He still plays it.
6-7 years in.
No, I remember
I
one
respect
time
it.
that shit was like, we was in Santa Monica. I didn't know where everybody was on the pier. I was like, what the
Oh
fuck
yeah,
is this?
that was legendary.
Crazy shit
80,000 Asian people.
No, my homeboy
on a
was-
Saturday night.
It was crazy.
It was insane.
My homeboy was in the house. We in Santa Monica. He gets up, start putting. He's like, I forgot what type of character. There's a something right down the block. I'm going to get it. I was
Like
like,
a Pokestop.
Probably a nice Snorlax.
I was like, what the fuck
Nobody's
are you
running
talking
after a
about?
Pokestop.
Like, what's wrong with you?
I mean, I can't judge them at all because I planked for a while. I was
Oh.
plank- I was
Everybody
planking.
did that.
I was planking in some weird places.
I planked a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
did
I
a
can't
couple
judge someone
planks.
running across the street trying to chase.
Well, those days.
I
are
was
over.
looking at like I became an architect during the
the
planking
planking?
era. I was like, that's nice. That's what 89 degrees. Okay, I could do it.
Now it's more about hunting shinies. So like
That
one
almost sounded racist.
one in every one in
don't know what
every
that is.
450
Hunting
Pokemon you
shinies.
catch is going to be a slightly different color. That's a shiny. So
Y'all did the crate challenge?
it's a big thing now.
Nah,
Nah.
I can't lie though. It did cross my mind. I wouldn't go set the crates up, but like if I were to be walking down the street and there happened to be some crates, I might have tried it.
I kind of halfway did it.
You just set it up.
No.
It was one crate.
No,
You sat on a crate.
Just jumped over.
no. The fucking crates was zip tied together.
Right.
And I fucking thought that I really did it, and I actually didn't do it.
I saw it and thought, oh, I could injure my spine if I tried to do that. Like I could really get broke off.
Hell yeah.
Chasing a Pokemon across
A shiny.
405, you could hurt
Those are
yourself
old
too.
days. No, there's like a thing where the Pokemon don't show up on the highway.
I would hope
I
so.
hope so now.
Yeah, they figured that out.
Back in 2016.
They just figured it out.
Because I'm in rush hour traffic and I'll fucking open it and they won't be popping up when I'm on the 405.
Thank God.
Just imagine it, like, he's right there.
Busted
traffic
U-turn
isn't
in the
working
middle
out.
of 405.
Well, some cops got busted in LA for catching a Pokemon when they were
did,
supposed to
I
be on the
remember that.
job, which I really don't think is that bad. They were just having fun.
Man, you're supposed to be protecting everyone.
Blue lives matter.
Oh my God.
All right. JK. All right.
He was fine with the people protecting and serving, opening their doors to find Pokemon.
I mean, were they supposed to work all day?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Seems kind of
I would
unreasonable.
like to
How
think
long you been
that-
in this building?
3 months, 4 months?
Like it.
We was in a trash can before this, so this is a big step up.
Yeah, that shit was falling apart.
Yeah. We had
Leaking from the
mosquitoes.
ceiling.
It was disgusting.
Nice.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm probably just going to go to bed.
I think it's that time.
Yeah. Hi.
That's Damaris.
Hello, Damaris.
Damaris can come in.
You can walk in.
The pod's about you now.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. All right. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Yo, man, thank y'all, man.
That was dope.
Yeah.
Did you ever see when the Flintstones met the Jetsons?
Yes.
This is what this is like?
Who would be the Flintstones?
That is up for interpretation.
Well, I'm
But-
the oldest, so probably us.
What's crazy is I think wasn't George Jetson born this year?
Was
I
he?
think that was on Twitter, so I don't know if it was true. But I guess in one of the Jetson episodes they put like his birth date, and it was in 2022.
Did you see the theory
That's
that,
fucking wild.
that the Flintstones are really in the future?
Yeah.
That would make sense to me though. It's all a simulation.
Wow.
One big
Wow,
circle.
July 31st.
Yeah.
I remember there was a Marvel comic book that was like 2099, and it was like the future of everything. And it sucks that I'm not going to live to see that unless some major technological innovations come through.
Never know.
You going to get a Neuralink?
I don't know what that is.
It's like the Elon Musk company where they want to make like a computer that embeds in your brain.
I mean,
Hell no.
that's what they be. It depends what it's for. Like, if it can help people, like if you actually have brain cancer and you could put that in there, then yeah.
I don't know if they're claiming to be able to do that.
No, that gives you brain cancer.
If Elon
if
handles
anyone-
this company in any
anyone
way
could
like how he's
survive,
handled Twitter,
guy that
then
could
I'm
do
not
that.
down. Yeah.
He's already putting a computer on his head.
No?
He's going to take my blue verified check away, and therefore I do not trust him with my brain.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't cop a Tesla right now either. If I was thinking about buying a Tesla, I don't think I want to support this dickhead.
I just seen a pit bull destroy a Tesla.
How?
You seen that?
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the fucking
Inside
tank
joke
that they
that
put on
nobody gets.
stage, they
Thank
threw
you.
a
No,
rock
the
and it
pit bull
broke.
really was like eating the fucking Tesla.
Okay.
Get a Honda.
You just say something and just expect everybody to understand. I don't know.
How often do y'all hang out personally?
Never.
Clearly.
Never.
This is too much already. All right. Shout out George Jetson,
Yes.
Happy birthday.
a.k.a.
legend.
Maul.
Well,
Nigga, today's not July.
Right. So what?
he's a few
I
months
know.
old.
I'm celebrating all
Phone's
year.
on his face.
Yeah.
Don't tell me how to celebrate.
Oh.
Celebrating all year.
Appreciate y'all for having us, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate
thank
y'all
you
for
guys.
coming, man,
Dope,
for
man.
real.
This felt like a Seinfeld episode.
It did.
A lot of nice pauses
You
and
better
stuff.
not be Kramer.
Well, that was after the show ended.
I mean, you agree with his political views, though, right?
That rant specifically, yeah. No,
rant is legendary.
no, Rory.
I'm fucking with you.
No, you're not.
This was fun.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it's awkward to get off. Okay.
Holy
I'm
shit.
walking away now.
That's a comment section.